Hello and welcome to the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, Part 1. In this session, we're going to go through the theory and the main parts of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System that's going to help you build a successful process for you to scale your business on the LinkedIn platform. Part 1 is all about theory and building and developing absolutely everything that you need. Part 2 is focused on prospecting and booking meetings. And part 3 is all about how you handle your clients once you've actually closed that deal and they've paid you money. Part 1, I'm going to focus on showing you how to navigate through the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, Part 1. Yes, it is a 127-page document. However, you don't need to go through everything all in one go. You need to utilize each of the sections and each of the frameworks of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System accordingly with whenever it's good for you. How fast you scale is your decision, and no one needs to put pressure on you to complete this quickly or to scale your business quickly. Absolutely nothing good comes when you do stuff fast. So please take your time and use this system how it suits you. Let's dive in. Over here, you all now have access to part 1 of the LinkedIn Sales Operating the System. And just as a disclaimer, the document is not to be shared with any third party. This document is only available for you, paying members of the LinkedIn Sales Operating the System by myself, Zach Derris. Paying members, please make a copy or download this document. In part 2 and part 3, there will be additional sections and frameworks that I will be adding to this document, but just to not overcomplicate things, I've not included them in here for now. The introduction to this document is very straightforward. The system has been designed to provide you with all the knowledge and resources and frameworks you need to scale your business through LinkedIn. In each of the sessions, we're going to cover key topics that, once combined, will give you the ultimate operational system that can be implemented instantly for LinkedIn sales success. To fully understand the LinkedIn Sales Operating the System, please read through every single section detailed below and complete the requested tasks and exercises. Yes, this isn't just reading material. This has a lot of exercises for you to complete to be able to build the framework of your own business. For part 1, we're going to cover 4 key topics. Then there's a bit of homework that I'm going to set everyone. Part 1 of part 1 is the setup. Part 2 is service development. Part 3 is the data development. And part 4 is creating sales content. You're receiving 15 out of the 16 frameworks in section 1, which are the LinkedIn profile optimization framework, the Calendly optimization framework, some AI tools to fast track your success, customer discovery and pain point analysis, which needs to be complete, your service offering framework, your pitch deck development framework, your pitch deck template, which also needs to be complete, the sales navigator framework, the messages and scripts framework, which needs to be complete by yourself, Crunchbase framework, Crunchbase and Apollo user manual, the database template that I've created for you all, content formats and styles framework, and finally, some sales content examples. As I mentioned, to fully understand the system, you need to be able to navigate through this whole entire document in the order that it's in. You don't need to jump from one section to each other. Just keep on working your way through the whole entire document. Part 1 consists of 3 key elements, which are the LinkedIn profile optimization, the Calendly optimization, and the AI tools to fast track your success. Part 2 focuses on service development, which consists of what your customers want, the service offering framework, and also the pitch deck development framework. And then part 3, the data, we focus on building evergreen data, building a consistent pipeline, and creating and crafting your messages and your scripts. And then finally, as it relates to part 4, when we're going to focus on creating sales content, we're going to go through the content to post, content for prospecting, and content for closing the deal. Let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is go through my profile on the LinkedIn platform that generates me a lot of business and a lot of interest throughout the whole entire year. On average, every single year, the content alone that I produce on LinkedIn generates me over 3 million impressions and over 93,000 engagements. The impressions is just a vanity metric. That's not something I'm interested in at all. It's great. It makes great content to talk about the fact that 3 million people get to see my content. But the important statistic is not a statistic that you see in your analytics. It's actually the number of conversations that you generate through your content. And the only way that my content can perform well and how your content can perform well is by optimizing your profile to a point where people want to continuously come back for more. You no longer need to invest significant amounts of money in a website. A meticulously optimized LinkedIn profile now does suffice. But why? Because your LinkedIn profile is your landing page. While a website is very valuable, it's recommended mainly for social proof. However, with a thoroughly optimized LinkedIn profile, you possess the essential elements to attract precisely the right customer, your ICP, your ideal customer profile, to your business. The LinkedIn profile optimization framework that we're going to go through together provides a comprehensive step-by-step breakdown of each aspect of your LinkedIn profile, guiding you through the calibration and optimization necessary for maximizing your sales success. The key elements that we're going to discuss in the LinkedIn profile optimization, not in this order, are your URLs, skills, banner, groups, bio links, headline, interests, your experience section, creator mode, your about section, your profile picture, your featured section, and your recommendations. Fully optimizing your profile brings you incredible benefits such as more sales, more profile views, more booked meetings, more people accepting your connections, more connection requests from other people, and potentially being approved by LinkedIn as a top voice or a top community voice. Every single participant of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System workshop brings very distinct qualities and uniqueness. Therefore, consider these only as suggestions and as a template, and please do tailor your profile optimization to align with your very own unique brand. Let's dive in with the banner. Many individuals underestimate the significance of a LinkedIn banner. When other people view your profile on LinkedIn, this serves as the initial visual impression. It's very crucial that the banner captures their attention effectively and provides a compelling reason for them to invest time in pursuing your profile. Statistics have consistently shown that users tend to navigate away from a profile within the first 5 seconds. That means you've got 5 seconds to captivate someone's attention. This underscores the importance of seizing the brief window to engage with their interests, with the banner playing a pivotal role in achieving this goal. The following that I'm showing on the screen right now is an example of a banner that performs extremely well, generating me over 71 profile views every 24 hours. Now let's analyze this banner. And to do that, we're going to go to the LinkedIn Sales Operating System. And I would highly advise that you analyze your banner once you've created it in exactly the same way that I'm about to show you right now. So opening up the system, going to banner, you can see I've detailed over here. Right here is a call to action. I showed the function and the skill set. I have a logo for my business. There's an additional profile picture. I'm offering value and the offer. I'm showing a deadline, more value, and a happy face. But let's break it down. Profile picture with a happy face. A smiling profile picture fosters trust amongst your connections, especially considering that 99% of them may not be familiar with you in the real world. They've only seen you on their computer screen or their mobile phone screen. Recognizing the paramount importance of first impressions, a genuine smile can go a very, very, very long way. So just smile. A call to action. Encouraging your community to take a specific action provides them with a compelling reason to continue exploring your profile. If they derive value from your content, this may prompt them to revisit and engage with your call to action. A deadline. Why do you think this is important to put this? Just ask for yourself for a minute. Introducing a sense of urgency through a deadline creates FOMO, fear of missing out. This also is a signal to your audience that there is a limited or specific time frame which piques their curiosity and triggers them to investigate further what is happening on this particular day. Now, the function for me personally is very important because by clearly stating the function enables my viewers to instantly comprehend my specialization, offering a quick understanding of my professional focus. The skill set, very similar to function, is complementing the function, and it highlights my skill set, allowing people to grasp my primary area of expertise. I want people to know me for sales. I don't want them to know me for my content or my smile or the cat memes that I put out. I want them to know that Zach is an absolute beast at sales. No one can sell like him, so I have to learn sales from him. That's the only goal there for me. Now, the value. Become a thought leader, sell your services, and build your community. This is the tagline for the LinkedIn Sales Operating System. Articulating the value others can gain by interacting with you is essential for fostering meaningful connections. Now, why did I place my logo on my banner? Strategically placing your logo on 3 key areas, which are your banner, your current experience, and your experience section, is a very subtle implant of the idea for people to explore your company in the minds of your audience. What that essentially means is throughout your profile, they're going to see your logo appear a number of times. Could be in your banner, your experience, or the current experience section, which I'm going to show you in a moment. And it just gives people a good idea to possibly go and check out your company page because they've seen the logo so many times, it's going to pique their curiosity. And as you can see, I've put an offer in the banner, the workshop. The workshop is the main offer. By incorporating an offer in your banner, you communicate to viewers that there is something beneficial that they can gain from by engaging with your profile. And finally, the secondary photo, even though I have no idea why this works, it works. So give it a go. Incorporate another photo. I don't know why people do this. I don't know why I've gone to do this, but for some reason it does add more credibility. So go ahead and give this a go. You've got your banner. This is your current experience, and this is your experience section. The way that you put your logo in the current experience doesn't have anything to do with the experience section. You need to click edit on the profile pen, scroll down, you can see your headline, and then it says current position. You then need to choose which one of the active positions you want to prioritize the most and save this so people, once they come to your profile, they know instantly how to be able to identify what company you are prioritizing. They're going to know straight away, Zach is prioritizing ZDTS. They're going to go check it out. They're going to see this is my growth and marketing agency. And because they've seen the logo over and over, they are identifying this with my brand. Understanding the importance of a LinkedIn banner is all great. But the main question is, how do we actually create a banner and upload it to LinkedIn? By utilizing the Canva banner section of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, you're going to have a step-by-step guide on how to do this. So the sections over here is just underneath the description and the analysis of the banner that we just went through right now. And it clearly detailed states, go to Canva, type LinkedIn banner in the search bar, hit enter. There are 100,000 results of banner templates that you can choose from. Select one, tweak it accordingly, and download it as a PNG. And we're going to do this from scratch right now. Now, another thing that you can also take advantage of if you want to be more specific, because throughout this workshop, we're going to discuss Boolean searches. You can even put a Boolean search in Canva, and that's just by implementing the inverted commas or quotation marks, whatever you want to call them. And from 100,000 results, it's going to give me 7,000 results. This is showing me these are the most specific banners people use for the LinkedIn profile. So I'm essentially going to have a look at one that I really like, that I feel that will grow my brand. But my recommendation is not taking a look at the first 50 to 100 banners. Work your way down. Go and find something that people typically aren't going to click on, because people normally like to select the first thing that they see. And let's just go for something like this. I'm going to customize this template. And then obviously, as I recommend, we're going to stick to each of the value points in the banner. So I'm just going to write here, the LinkedIn sales operating system. I'll put this here at the top, stretch it out so it can be centered right there. Perfect. And then I can go ahead and find a picture if I have one. Perfect. I'll throw it in there, improve the size, and there, perfect. We have a picture inside the frame. But in case the banner doesn't already give you a frame, I'm going to show you how to actually identify a frame. So you click on elements over here, and then you type in circle frame, and then you have it. There's one with a border around it, but I would just use the normal one. And this way, when you're going to upload your picture, you just drag your picture from the upload section, where you just click uploads and it will live here. You just drag it over here. Alternatively, you can just click it so it jumps in, and then just move it around and it will automatically position itself and jump in there. And then we're basically done. Like, that's all you literally need. Less is more. Remember that. But obviously, you can stick to each of the value points that I've created on the analysis of the banner, and you can add as much information as you want in there. So then I'm going to write here LSOS banner example, so I know what it is. I'm going to make sure everything is aligned. Use the purple lines. They're very useful. Click share. So let me just open up the operating system again. Once we've tweaked it, we need to download the PNG. And the way that you do that is just click share, click download, make sure it's selected on PNG, and just hit download. Whilst that is downloading, we're going to learn how to upload your banner. So we're going to go to LinkedIn, click on our profile, click on the pen in the top right-hand corner of the banner, upload the banner, then click save. So let's go ahead and do this now. Banner, we're going to change the photo. I'm going to select the one that I want. And as we see, that looks like it's too big. So one thing that we're going to do is go back to Canva. And this is going to happen occasionally. So I would always recommend staying inside the framework boxes that it normally provides you, but it hasn't in this instance. So let's just compare what we have over here. All right, cool. So I'm going to reduce the size of this. And it's actually really good that this has happened, because there is no way any of you are going to have a perfect banner on your first time you try to upload it. The amount of edits I've made on the banner is absolutely phenomenal. It's so many. And we're going to go back to banner. We're going to change a photo. We're going to upload a new one that we just selected. And we can see almost very, very, very close. So we need to give it one more go. One final time. Third time is a charm. Going to change this photo, select a new one. And what do you know? Boom. Just going to reposition that by dragging it up and down. And there we go. And then we're just going to apply. Just click apply straight away. And that's it. Done. Fantastic. For the next section of the LinkedIn profile optimization process, we need to focus on the headline. Every single LinkedIn guru and social selling expert emphasizes the importance of clearly defining who you are, what you do, and what you offer in your headline. I used to follow this advice and I used to craft headlines such as helping Fortune 500 companies integrate Web3 and immersive experiences, or supporting consultants and agencies with LinkedIn sales growth and marketing, or I help consultants close 2 to 3 new clients every week through LinkedIn social selling. While these type of headlines did yield some success, they inadvertently conveyed the impression that I was actively trying to sell something to anyone connecting with me. Considering that the key decision makers for my products and services are business owners, founders, and CEOs who are already bombarded with sales pitches on LinkedIn, these type of headlines would always create objections for me. Now, in August 2023, I decided to align my headline with the style of my target audience. I made a simple yet impactful change by using my job title and my company name. So if we have a look at my profile right now, we just skip straight down to the experience. You can see I'm the founder and CEO of ZDTS. So the change that I made was simply putting my job experience in my headline. This way, the people that are connecting with me, they just have the impression that I'm just another CEO trying to network on the LinkedIn platform. Therefore, it is recommended that you use your job title and your company name in your headline. Since I've implemented this change, my experience has generated some very notable results, which are increased profile views, more booked meetings, and I've successfully closed more deals. But let's put this into context. The workshop that you've all purchased is priced at €99.99. This is typically sold at €1,190 for one-to-one training and support from me to my clients. In September alone, I was able to deliver 21 of these workshops, generating €24,990 in revenue. The shift in my headline, coupled with the implementation of the LinkedIn sales operating system, played a pivotal role in this. The decision makers that I'm contacting and prospecting no longer perceived me as a person actively trying to sell to them. Instead, they just felt that they were networking on LinkedIn with another founder slash CEO. This very subtle adjustment broke down barriers, eliminated objections, and significantly contributed to my increased success in closing deals. In summary, the key lesson learned is not to overpower your headline. Keep it concise and please do mirror the style of your target audience and incorporate your job title and business name for a more effective and relatable approach. So this is how you make this change. It's very straightforward. We're just going to go to LinkedIn. We're going to click this pen over here. We're going to scroll down a little bit to headline. And where you currently have, I help people do X, Y, and Z, and these are my skills and emojis and all of this stuff. Just copy your experience from your job title, write it down here, and that's all. And hit save. That's all you need to do. For the next topic, we're going to focus on profile URL, and it's such an important thing to consider when it comes to LinkedIn. So this is a very straightforward process. When you're sharing your profiles with other people, you need to aim to have a concise URL. Additionally, aligning your URL with your name enhances its effectiveness for LinkedIn SEO. Upon signing up for LinkedIn, a default URL is automatically generated, which a lot of you may have. And typically it's formatted in a sense of linkedin.com/in/ Zach-Darius-00441188222120 or whatever the numbers are. Therefore, it's important to optimize this and customize the URL. And as it's detailed in the LinkedIn sales operating system, all you do for this is you go to LinkedIn, you click on your profile. On the right-hand side, there's a pen icon next to the public profile URL. Then you modify and enter the URL to a format that suits your profile best. And that's over here. You just click this pen, it pops open a new page, and then you click the pen again, and then you just make that change. That's all you need to do. After we've done that, we want to focus on the link in your bio on LinkedIn. Incorporating a link in your bio on LinkedIn can significantly enhance your profile's effectiveness and user engagement. By strategically placing a link, you provide direct access to additional information such as your website, your portfolio, or a specific project, offering a comprehensive view of your professional identity. This not only allows your connections to explore your work in more detail, but also serves as a valuable tool for self-promotion and for networking. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a freelancer, or a professional seeking new opportunities, a well-placed link in bio streamlines the process for potential collaborators, clients, and employers to learn more about you. Ultimately, this will contribute to a more robust and impactful LinkedIn presence. If you have the free version of LinkedIn, you can place a blue highlighted link in bio, which I'm going to show in a moment. And if you've got the premium version of LinkedIn, you can place a custom button on your profile. The premium custom button has a larger impact as you have several options to choose from, as you can see over here. But in addition to this, the new call to action button, regardless of which one you select, now appears on your content, as you can see right over here. So people have the option to either view your store, book an appointment, view your portfolio, view your blog, or view the website. And depending on how you're crafting your content, previously you could write stuff such as click this link here, or click the link in the comments, or click the link on my profile in the bio. But now I can just write stuff such as at the top of this post, tap visit my website and let's talk, or something like that. With this button, as I just mentioned, you no longer need to include external links in your content, which does reduce the reach of your content algorithm. You can simply prompt people within the post to perform that action at the top of the post. Now, depending on the version of LinkedIn linked to your account, you could either have a custom CTA button or a blue highlighted link button. And this is what each of them are going to look like. So if I have the free version of LinkedIn, you're going to be able to see just at the top of the profile by the LinkedIn Sales Operating System. But if I have a custom button, I can select visit my website. Now, the way that you add a free link in bio is very, very, very straightforward, and I've detailed this in the system. You go to LinkedIn, you click on your profile, then you click on the edit pen. So let's go ahead and do that. Go to LinkedIn, click the edit pen, and then you scroll all the way down to edit custom button. You will then be prompted to add a link that will appear at the top of your profile. You can click edit this custom button, and then two options will be presented. This is obviously if you have like the free version. You can either select none or link. If you have free, you select link, you enter the URL that you want to be shown, that you want to be clickable, and then you enter the text that you want to be shown and displayed on your profile next to link in text. So in this instance, on the example, I can write book a meeting, put the link in there, and then on the profile, you will see this example. It will look just like this. Now, if you want to go ahead and add a premium, you need to sign up to premium first. My recommendation is everyone in the course takes a free trial for Sales and the Navigator, the premium version of LinkedIn that allows you to tap into the algorithm of people's profiles, which we are going to discuss shortly. But if you don't have that kind of budget after the free trial, because it works out to be about $100 a month, there are other premium functionalities for about $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 that you can take advantage of just to get this link. My recommendation is that you do go for this link because, as I mentioned, it's going to appear in the content that you produce on LinkedIn. So the way that you go ahead and do this is you go to LinkedIn, you click on your profile, you click on the edit pen in the top right-hand corner of your profile, you scroll to the bottom of the edit section, and you focus on the custom button, and then you're going to be prompted to add a link, or as a premium business member, show people the best way to engage with you by adding the custom button on your profile, which you can see over here. Then you edit the custom button. You can then choose which one of these ones that you want. You place your link in there, and you don't need to put a link text because this is going to be the call to action button. And then you just click save. It's very, very, very straightforward, and I would recommend everyone go ahead and do that. Now, in the banner section, we briefly touched on the profile picture. And a smiling profile picture really does give people the opportunity to foster trust amongst their connections, especially as I mentioned before, 99% of people don't know who you are. So recognizing the paramount importance of first impressions, a genuine smile can go a very long way. Now, it's important to understand where your profile picture can appear. Your profile, obviously, in the inbox of your connections, in the pending invitations on the people's My Network section, on your connections or your followers' feed when you've posted content, but also in their feed when you've commented on other people's posts. And what I mean specifically by that section is if we go to my home feed, and I can see Titus's profile picture over here straight away. So I know this post is from him. And then we have a look at Tom. I know this post is from Tom because I can recognize his profile picture and his name. But then let me give you a really good example. We have a lady here by the name of Melise. She commented on a post by one of my first connections. She's also my first connection as well. And her profile picture is being shown over here. And I'm being prompted to know that one of my connections commented on a post of my other connections. So maybe it's good content for me to take a look at. So as I mentioned, the first impression of you is very important, and the profile picture plays a key role in that. Now, here are some of my personal pro tips that I would recommend you take advantage of. Make sure you have a professional experience. Choose a very high quality photo that portrays a professional and approachable image. Dress in business attire that aligns you with your industry to convey the competence. Now, your business attire could be absolutely anything. If you have a look at Gary Vee, his business attire is a t-shirt and a hat. It's his brand. So always stick to your brand. Make sure your profile picture is clear and well lit. Ensure that the profile picture is clear and well lit. Avoid distracting elements and shadows to maintain a polished and focused appearance. Frame your photo with a close-up of your head to your shoulders. This allows for better visibility and emphasizes your face, enhancing connection and recognition. Make sure you wear a genuinely friendly expression. Don't try and force a smile like that. No one's gonna click on your profile if they see a false smile. Be happy, take a nice picture, make sure you're in a good mood, and upload that. Maintain consistency with your professional brand, as I mentioned, and if possible, use a very similar photo across all your other social media profiles. As you're going to learn through the client engagement process of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, we don't just target our prospects on the LinkedIn platform. We would be going on Twitter and TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook to be able to perform engagement to captivate attention of our prospects. So if they see the same name and the same profile picture on many other different social media platforms, they're going to be able to properly associate you with that person who reached out to them on LinkedIn. Eye contact is very important. It's very difficult to be able to build that trust with people just from a picture, but if you are giving them direct eye contact in the profile picture, it just goes that additional way of building trust. Make sure you update your profile picture maybe once or twice a year, because our looks and haircuts and all of that stuff changes. So let's just make sure things are fresh. There's been many occasions where I've met people on a Zoom call and there's a picture of them on their profile for LinkedIn from like 10 years ago, and they joined a Zoom call and I'm like, I feel like I'm being catfished, right? Don't give people that impression. Now, before I go to how to create a PFP with Canva, these are some really good examples. All of them are portraying exactly what I've detailed above. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Now, because of the resolution of me recording this, it doesn't come out as clear as it is on LinkedIn, but they're all very high quality pictures. So the way that you do this on Canva is you go to Canva, you type profile picture, you hit enter. There's 3,000 search results with templates that you can choose from. Select one template, tweak it accordingly, and download the PNG. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to write here profile picture. You can select any of the ones that are the most appealing to you. I like this one. I'm going to customize this template. I'm going to delete this guy's face. I'm going to upload mine. I'm just going to move it and drag it over there. I'm going to double click into it to resize it. And there we go. Nice and clear. So now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to share this. I'm going to download this. I'm going to click download. And then to upload it as a detail in the system, you go to LinkedIn, you click on your profile picture, you click add photo, you upload a photo, you select the banner that the profile picture that you just created, and then zoom in accordingly. If you want to have the background in there, you can do. But we're just going to zoom in so it fits absolutely perfectly. Then you're going to click on save that photo. And that's all. Now you have your profile picture done and complete. Now, the next section is incredibly important that everyone takes advantage of, and this is creator mode. Creator mode allows you to go live on LinkedIn, create a customized newsletter slash article, and be more present as a creator on the LinkedIn platform. One of the most important factors of this is it changes the call to action of people to connect with you and then it changes it for them to go to follow you, which is great to build up the follower count on your profile. And unfortunately, people have sheep mentality. So when they see an account with 20,000 followers or 50,000 followers, they instantly believe for some reason that you're more credible. So go ahead and make that change. And I'm going to show you how to do this live right now. So all we're going to do is you're going to go over to your LinkedIn profile. You're going to click on your profile, and then you're going to scroll down to resources. For you right now, creator mode is going to be turned off. So you just click on show all resources, you click on creator mode, you go ahead and you enable it, and then it's going to give you some hashtags that you have the choice of entering. Now, I specifically put stuff from an SEO standpoint that I want whenever people type in these keywords on the LinkedIn search bar, I will appear in the search results. So whenever someone types in NFTs or growth or empathy or community or blockchain, I know that there is a strong possibility that I'm going to appear in that search result. So make sure you do that. And then you have the option to go ahead and post a live on LinkedIn, an audio event, a newsletter, and also, as I mentioned, change the connection button to the follow button. Now, what's going to happen that you will see very quickly is that there is a downside to this. And let me just show you an example of someone I'm not connected with. Hopefully, yeah, cool. So he's got creator mode on because I can see the hashtags and I can see the instant option to follow him. Some people may be confused and they may not think that there is actually an option to connect with him. But all you have to do if you do this, or all people will have to do on your profile if you'd make this change, is click on more and then you can click connect. We're going to talk about the connection process later on inside this system. So go ahead, read through all the details on creator mode in the LinkedIn Sales Operating the system. And then once you've activated your creator mode, we want to go ahead and focus on my favorite part of a LinkedIn profile, which is your featured section. When someone views your profile, their attention is drawn to several key elements, which are your banner, and it's in this order: your banner, your profile picture, your headline, and sheep mentality, your followers. Following this, their focus shifts to your features section. Your features section appears above your about section. So once you've activated creator mode, students inside the LinkedIn Sales Operating System have got the ability to showcase items on their profile. Now, there's a wrong way of doing your feature section, and there's the right way. And I want you all to do the right way. You're able to feature as many items as you like. However, only 3 items are prominently going to be displayed in the desktop view, and 2 of them in the mobile view. So any of you, if you want, grab your mobile phone, go to my profile, and you'll see 2 items on the features section. On the desktop side of things, when we go over here and we have a look at my profile, you'll be able to see there are 3 options that you can have a look at when it comes to my features section. But then I can click next and I can have a look at all the other featured posts. It will show you around 5 or 6, and then you can show all featured items and then just go through the long list of stuff that you have over here. There's 2 specific types of content that can be placed in your features section. Viral content, which is content with a high level of engagement, comments and shares, sheep mentality again, or call to action content. Call to action content is designed to redirect your profile viewers to a different destination. Both of them have their respective flaws. The viral content lacks a clear call to action, and the call to action content lacks engagement. Before I explain what's the best option, let's just have a quick look at some examples. This is a call to action feature section. She's pushing people to schedule a call with her, which is paid, to also schedule another call, which is also paid, and to join a paid community. Same for Jasmine, same things. Book in a weekly coaching call, a power hour, or subscribe to something where he's going to sell you some stuff. But then you have a feature section like this. There is a call to action in each of these posts, but there's also engagement. So this is why I call this section the recommended type of content that you should be posting, which is viral call to action content. Harnessing the potential of a custom link button in your bio, you can now craft content with call to actions that can reside in your features section. By employing the custom button, your content won't underperform on the algorithm because there isn't a link in the content redirecting readers to an external source. The optimal approach to crafting viral call to action content, which is a combination of the call to action and the viral content, involves adhering to the following format. And we're going to talk about this a lot in this system. A catchy hook, including the call to action within the first 2 to 5 sentences, offering substantial value in the post, adding another call to action at the bottom of the post, and attaching a professionally recorded and edited video to the post. So here's an example. This is a marketing agency post that I put out. I'm excited to announce that I've partnered with this company, the only platform in the world that provides dynamic statistics on this platform for the usage and experiences. And then that's the call to action over there. The fact that I've tagged them companies in the first line, I want people to go ahead and check them out. Now I'm adding so much value. And now another call to action is I want people to boost the post by adding comments. So I'm asking a PS question, which is what is your favorite branded experience on this platform? As we can see, the engagement was phenomenal in this, and this was only posted about a week or 2 ago, and the post has performed extremely well because I kept it in the feature section. So the 70 to 80 people that view my profile every single day, and just because of the algorithm, the way that it works, this content has been pushed out to over 11,000 people, engaged with over 310 people, commented by 117, and reposted 15 times. Now, don't really care that much about that. What I care about is how well the video itself performed, because then I can utilize the analytics and go ahead and target the right people. But most importantly, whenever I'm pitching a prospect that can benefit from this platform and I have this post in the features section, they have the right call to action because the post is viral. It has information of where they can go to. So they're going to believe that this is the right platform for them to use. And now let's have a look at a workshop post. This is a very, very, very long post, but many of you who purchased the system came from this post that I created. I have at the very top, 5 lines in, I have a call to action with visit my website above to register for the workshop. I'm detailing what people receive within the workshop. Let's just go ahead to LinkedIn just so you have a much better view of this. I'm detailing and a lot of information what people are going to benefit from this. I'm explaining what they're going to get, what they're going to learn, all the topics that are going to be covered. And one thing that I do, which a lot of people don't think it is a call to action, but it really is, because this is a sales workshop, I'm telling people Merry Christmas and happy selling. Let's have a look at the very top of the post. I'm bringing Christmas early to this year. I'm bringing Christmas early to LinkedIn this year. To celebrate hitting 7 figures in revenue, we are giving back. Christmas present, sales, go down to the bottom, Merry Christmas and sales. This performed not as well as I would hope. However, the video views generated more than the post that I showed you previously. Why is that though? The reason why it didn't hit 20,000 or 10,000 people on the video impressions is because of the length of the text and what the text consists of. A lot of people don't actually believe this, but there is proof that there is a team who work for the LinkedIn company who analyze and review your content and they decide if it should be prioritized on the platform or not. So sales content, very hard direct sales, isn't going to be pushed whatsoever. However, thankfully, I've gone through the effort of building a community. I circulated this in the right way, and we had very nice engagement. And when we have a look at the analytics of this and we compare it to the previous video that I showed you, it turns out that more people were going to watch the whole entire video versus the other video because this was pushed towards my target audience. This is the people who I wanted them to see this. And conversion wise, I would say at least 20 to 30 sales of the workshop at 100 euros each and 99 euros each came from this post, which is great. So let's keep on going through this. We've gone through the featured examples, and the next section that we want to do is the about section. But I want everyone just to take a moment and go ahead and think about some viral call to action content that you could go ahead and create for yourself. As I mentioned with the recommended steps that you take over here, write a catchy hook, include your call to action at the very top of the sentence, provide as much free value as you can, put another call to action at the bottom, and then add a professionally recorded video. You can use tools such as Captions, Opus Pro, Video.io, InShot to edit your content. So don't be concerned that you need to pay someone hundreds of thousands of dollars to make professional studio quality content. You can do it all from the power of your mobile phone. Moving on, we have the About section. The About section is your introduction on LinkedIn and an important opportunity to make a memorable first impression for your future connections. It serves as your professional story, offering a glimpse into your journey and skills and what you bring to the table. A compelling About section establishes a connection with your audience, making them more likely to engage, connect, or consider your services. Now, this is my specific framework that I utilize. You can choose to utilize this framework or not. But I want you to include 6 things, which are your introduction, your professional journey, your passion and focuses, services that you offer, accolades and achievements, and a call to action. So you start with a concise introduction that captures your role, company, and core expertise. You share your professional journey by highlighting your key experiences and your turning points. And then the next thing that you do is you clearly articulate your passion and focus areas within your industry. You then detail your services that you provide, ensuring clarity on what potential clients or collaborators can expect. You showcase really notable accomplishments and accolades to build credibility and trust. And you include a very clear call to action, guiding readers on the next step, regardless if it's connecting, exploring your services, or actually going to reach out to you directly. So now we're going to review and analyze my about section so you can understand how you can implement the steps that I've just shared to you for yourself on your about section. So it starts off by going through, hello, my name is Zach Derris, the founder and CEO of Zach Derris Training Services, a leading growth of marketing and sales agency, recognized for excellence on the LinkedIn platform. With a journey in sales since 2009, I unearthed the transformative potential of LinkedIn in 2014, propelling me to dedicate the last 9 years to building and nurturing business development teams with a specific focus on LinkedIn and social selling. In 2017, I embarked on an entrepreneurial adventure, launching Zach Derris Training Services and thankfully collaborating with over 500 clients to date. My passion is focused on, as I detailed earlier, agencies, marketing departments, and independent business consultants maximizing their sales potential by utilizing social media platforms, building relationships, and adding value to their clients. This is what you get when you work with me. Workshops and masterclasses, advisory and consulting, lead gen and closing deals, business strategy, and raising capital. Now, pay attention to this and see what I did here. Here are my accolades. Sold to over 6,658 people through my career. My LinkedIn content reaches over 3 million people annually. Generating 7 figures for clients through my LinkedIn social selling. Secured third place in an international marketing championship with a focus on LinkedIn personal branding. Achieved third place in a rap contest recording music for the very first time. If you would like to apply to work with me, please send a detailed email to info@zachdarius with the subject service request. Thank you. Now, first thing, it's probably on your mind right now. Why did I include the information about the rap contest? I want to be personal with my audience and show them that I'm not just another sleazy, cheesy sales guy. There's stuff outside of selling that I do in my personal life, and I want them to know it because I'm proud of it. This allows my potential clients and prospects to open up about personal stuff that they are creative on and they're passionate about when they're talking to me. It's a really, really, really nice icebreaker that people definitely should be taking advantage of. There's an analysis in a lot more detail that I want everyone to read through. And then I want you to take your time to recraft your about section. And please, for the love of God or whoever you believe in, don't use ChatGPT to craft your about section. You are going to write it so much better than any AI tool. If you want, after you have written everything, you can put it into ChatGPT with the prompt, improve the grammar of this text, but don't get it to write it for you. No one's going to read ChatGPT written text because they know it's written by ChatGPT. Once your about section has been crafted, we have to focus on skills. But before we do that, you can see that I didn't include a link to my Calendly in the about section for people to book in a meeting with me. In my opinion, when you do this, this is a sign of desperation, and it's not, and it shows that you're not very successful or busy. Your Calendly link, which we're going to get to shortly, should not be public unless there is a price attached for your time. Your time is very valuable. You're here to sell your services and your products. Charge for your time. So therefore, please reserve your Calendly link for prospects and qualified inbound leads. Skills. Think what you want about this, but it does provide a lot of value. Highlighting your skills on your LinkedIn profile is critical in providing additional social proof and installing confidence in viewers contemplating whether to initiate contact with you. It's a professional showcase, offering tangible evidence of your expertise and your capabilities. By Prominently featuring your skills, you not only communicate your proficiency, but also strategically position yourself as a valuable and credible resource within your professional network. This curated presentation enhances your professional image, making it more likely for viewers to engage and connect with confidence. Now, there's two places where you can highlight your skills on LinkedIn, and I'm going to show you exactly where they are right now. Just going to share my screen again, and we're going to go back over to LinkedIn. So the first place is in your features section. If you add your skills appropriately, people will be able to see underneath the about description of your company page. It's a list of all the skills that come associated with your company, which is very useful for people to be able to quickly understand without reading the bio or clicking onto the website. What can this strategic advisor or consultant or business coach or whoever it is that you are that is utilizing this framework, what can they benefit from by collaborating and speaking to you? And it's very straight to the point, and it highlights all the skills that you associated. The other section is just underneath the experience, and it just gives a full overview. Now, this is previously where you would go and push people to endorse you for skills, right? You can just add all your information over here, all the skills that you believe that you possess that people should review once they're reviewing your profile. And the way that you add skills for both of the sections is you can just click this plus button. Then you can type in the skill that you want. Let me just do selling because I don't think that's there already. Let's just do solution selling. And then to hit two birds with one stone, if you want it to appear on your experience section as well as your skill section, just select all the companies that this skill is associated with. Hit save, and that's it. Now, if you want some certifications to show up on your profile and you would like to demonstrate your skills, you could go ahead and follow the information if it's on your profile, because this is still in beta, and it will give you some brief courses and tests to do. And if you do this through the skill assessments, they'll give you like an additional certification that you can include on your profile, which is pretty cool. Once that you've done your skills and you've added it to your profile, now we want to focus on the crown jewels of your LinkedIn profile, which is the recommendation section. So please do take the time to read through this information in a lot of detail. And in a moment, I'm going to show you how to be able to add recommendations and request recommendations to your profile. Recommendations serve as the social proof needed to vouch for your capabilities and who you are. Consider this. 1 in 5 customers will want to see recommendations, testimonials, or talk to previous clients before deciding to work with you. These are the very meticulous customers who need reassurance before sealing the deal. Whenever I personally encounter such a request, I make it hassle-free by saying, check out the recommendations at the bottom of my LinkedIn profile. They're from past and present clients. It's a very swift way to provide instant access to someone's thoughts on my character and my service, ensuring a very smooth path to closing the deal. So this is how we go ahead and add this to your LinkedIn profile. So you're going to go to me, view profile, going to scroll all the way down, and then you're just going to click this plus sign. Then you're going to ask for a recommendation. And then you're going to type in the name of the person that you want to receive a recommendation from. Let me think of someone who hasn't given me a recommendation. Someone I've recently started working with. Let's go for, let's go for Anna. I'm going to type in Anna's name. Sorry for using you as an example. And then I'm going to click on continue. And next, I'm going to be prompted to state what the relationship is. This is really important. And because of the fact that this individual is your client, you want to either choose the option where is it? Right over here. Anna was a client of yours, right? Or you work together in a different environment. But the one that I always choose is Anna was a client of mine. And then I choose the position at the time. And now and I detailed this in the system, but If you provided a lot of value to this person, you can just use the prompts that's put up here and just hit send, and that's it. But if it's a friend of yours trying to do you a favor, give a little bit of information and also detail the fact that, look, I need you to write me a recommendation because I'm starting my business. And if you do so, I'll be more than happy to do the same for you. So offer a quid pro quo so you can help each other grow. And that's basically it. You hit send, job done, and there we go. And I detail some examples of how you can structure the personalized message if you wanted to. Now, there's a bonus part of the profile optimization, and then we're completely done. And this is the interests section of a profile. Let me show you what this looks like. So at the very bottom of anyone's profile on LinkedIn, it shows 3 key interests: companies, groups, and newsletters that they have subscribed to. This is a prospecting sales method that I utilize occasionally if I feel like I need to, where I would take a look at a person that I'm interested in selling to and booking a meeting with. And I would take a look at the companies, the groups, and the newsletters that they have signed up to. And I will also go to join the groups, subscribe to the news the letters, and follow the companies. Because when they have a look at my interests, they can see that they share similar interests to me, which is a great icebreaker. Or during the call, I can say to them, for example, oh, we both subscribe to the Data Detective. I'm a really big fan of the news and the newsletter by Melissa, and you also subscribe to Grow Your Brand by Yasin. These are 2 great ones. What else do you like that I haven't seen? It's just a really nice icebreaker. So look, it's not important that you do this, but I would recommend that occasionally do give it a go and go to someone that you would like to prospect. Go have a look at their interests at the very bottom. Subscribe and join the stuff that they also subscribe and join, and then bring it up to them in the conversation. And profile optimization is basically done, right? Just do read everything in this section in a lot of detail. And just to summarize, we went through your banner excellence, your headline position, URL refinement, the strategic placement of your bio link, your image perfection of your PFP, your profile picture, creator mode, the featured section, the about section, your skills, recommendations, and the interests. Please do approach these optimizations with a tailored and professional mindset, aligning them with your unique brand, and make sure that you capture your essence when you're creating your profile picture. It's a landing page to you, nothing more, nothing less. For the next section of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System Part 1, we're going to focus on Calendly optimization. When it comes to Calendly, you don't need to utilize Calendly when it comes to booking meetings. There are so many other tools and alternatives which I've detailed inside the system that you could take advantage of, but I would highly recommend using one. Calendly is my personal preferred partner because due to a 4,000% of increased meetings since I've signed up to Calendly, it makes sense that I recommend this tool to my clients and to the participants of this workshop. Now, the main thing we're going to utilize Calendly for is the ability to qualify our prospects before the first sales call. We do this by strategically placing required questions in the booking form to ensure that we are only taking meetings with people that we can sell to and who have the money to pay for our services. Now, the framework that you have in the system is a comprehensive guide provided as a walkthrough, which includes advanced settings, analytics, interpretations, and troubleshooting scripts and tips. The students of the workshop are encouraged to adapt these instructions based on their unique requirements. And Calendly Support Center is really good. So do go utilize that if you do need any help. Now, you can go over to YouTube and write Calendly tutorial and things like this, but I'm going to show you how I create an event from scratch so you can go ahead and do this for yourself on Calendly. Now, I do have the premium version of Calendly. You don't need to go ahead and get it. They do have free trials attached, but I would recommend, because of the options, it's about $10 a month. It's totally worth adding this to your business expense, but you can host one event for free on Calendly with the free version of the platform. So let's go ahead and do this now. First thing that you want to do is go straight to calendly.com. And all you would do is click on either get started or sign up with either Microsoft or Gmail. Because I already have an account, I'm going to skip that process, but the setup is so easy. And then it's going to guide you through all the profile settings that you need to go through. So obviously, it's very important to go to profile, add your profile picture so people know that the Calendly belongs to you, your name, the intro message that you want, the date, the time, all of that stuff. And if you have the premium version of Calendly, you can upload your logo and remove the Calendly branding, which would be great. Most importantly, out of this section is your link. You want it to be as short as possible and as relatable to you as you can. So for me, calendly.com/Zach Derris makes a lot of sense. But more importantly than all of this, one thing that you want to pay attention to is the calendar sync. The calendar sync is going to make sure that you're not going to double book or overbook yourself, especially when you're managing a number of different accounts. So if you've set up with Google, it's automatically going to give you the option to sync with Google. Same for a Microsoft account, but you can just add your calendar account, choose what it is that you want to add. And then every single time that someone's going to go ahead and make a booking, Calendly is going to check your calendar before they do that. And it's only going to give them the time slots as to where you are available. Now, once you've done all of that, and obviously you have the walkthrough guide manual that I created for you, so you can, in a very comprehensive way, set up and create your profile, you're then going to go to your homepage, right? And then you can see, because I have premium, I have a bunch of highlighted green or purple events which are active. I can turn off these events just by clicking on and off whenever I want. And depending on what I'm selling, what I want to talk to people about, it's important for me to have many, many, many events. However, at this stage in your career, at the very beginning, you only really need one event, and that's going to be your 17 or 20-minute intro call, the discovery call. This is going to give people the opportunity to be pitched by you and you to learn about your customer. And you're going to be able to utilize some icebreakers within the calendar questions to be able to further qualify your prospects. So let's do this from the absolute beginning so you can see everything that I do. I've just created a Calendly account. I'm going to click on new event type. And then I'm going to decide what type of event type I want. For you, you're going to need a one-to-one event. Then we're going to call this Discovery Call with Zach. Going to do a custom duration. Now, depending on how good you are at your qualification and your prospecting process, you don't need to do it more than 40 minutes, honestly, because that's time that you can be spending to other people. So myself, I say 20 minutes, but recently I'm bringing it all the way down to 17 minutes. And eventually at some point next year, I'm going to bring it down to 15 minutes because every minute counts. Every 60 seconds is really important. And it shows urgency and it shows the person that's potentially going to buy from you. You're a busy dude and your time is money, or busy woman. So just for the purpose of this, I'm just going to do 20 minutes. And then we're going to decide if it's a Zoom call, a phone call, or whatever. Now, an important thing to consider is when you're going through the setup process, it's going to give you the option to actually connect your Zoom and integrate your Zoom. It's got very straightforward instructions on how to do that. If you do struggle, if you have a look at the manual, there is a section in there that details how you connect your Zoom or other video conferencing calls. It's all in there for you to be able to take advantage of. So I've done this. I'm going to hit continue. You can already see the branding that's going on there. Very nice, very clean, very straightforward. And now, unfortunately, recently, Calendly has rebranded their interface and their UX. So it looks like this now. Previously, all the options would just appear on one screen, but I guess they wanted to give you a live preview as to what it's going to look like. So you want to tap into each of these options and complete it to the best of your ability. So we've done the first bit with the exception of the description. So you're just going to write something really straightforward along the lines of, please select a time and date for you to meet Zach to discuss potentially working together. This is how you set the boundaries at the very beginning and you let people know you mean business. The only purpose of you having a phone call in the first place is for you to qualify them and for them to give you enough value to know that you are the right customer for them. Like, it's really, really, really important. Going to save this. Now we're going to have a look at hosts and invitees. We're going to just make sure everything is opted in the right way. Now, depending on what type of business that you sell to, it's up to you if you want your guest to add other people. I always allow it. I always keep the option on because if I'm speaking to the CEO, but he wants his head of growth or marketing manager to be part of this call, I'm going to make sure that he can copy in that person. And if during the messaging or the video or the audio note prospecting process, I get a vibe that he may need to have another decision maker on the call, when I'm giving them my Calendly link, I'm going to prompt them, feel free to add any other guests that you want to our call. Cool. Fantastic. Next, we want to have a look at schedule settings. Really important to get this stuff right. I have a little hack when it comes to my calendar. I make sure that I'm not available every single day and not every single hour of every single day. Normally, I let my calendar run on a Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, or maybe a Monday, Wednesdays, and a Fridays, because I don't want people to think I'm free and available to take calls all the time. The most amount of bookings I've ever received is when there was only 6 or 7 time slots available at the beginning of the month for the whole entire month, because people have the impression that you're already fully booked. So rewind what I just said, play it again, and implement that. So I'm just going to say over the next 60 days, this is my availability, or you can specifically choose what you want it. Now, when it comes to your available hours, you could either take a look at what you've input in previous events, but if you don't have any previous events, it's going to ask you to actually specifically create some availabilities for yourself. And it's very straightforward to do. You can literally go in here, you can choose for this event type or all events that you have, and you can go ahead and customize your time slots. So based on what I just told you, I only want to be available on, let's say, a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and this is too long of a time slot. This is the default that they provide. I'm going to say, so I can hit customers on the Eastern time and Pacific time as well as in the UK. I'm going to say from 3 p.m. in the afternoon to 6 p.m., let's say 6:30. And I'm just going to replicate this for everything, all the available times that I have. And this way, unless there's stuff in my calendar, they can book at any time between 3 and 6:30. Cool. Now, the buffer time is before or after someone can book in, right? It gives you enough time to end the previous call. And anyone who's ever taken any sales calls, you know, if you have a really good instinct that this individual is going to purchase from you, you'll go over the 17 or 20-minute time slot. So I always add myself 5 minutes before the event and 5 minutes after the event, just to be safe. And as a minimum amount of a notice that Calendly needs to give you before people can book a meeting, I would always go for at least 12 hours because I don't want people booking in on the same day to speak to me. That's never a good idea. It's too eager, it's too available. And again, if we're implementing everything else that I just detailed, we want to make you look as busy as possible. Even if you don't have any clients right now, fake it till you make it, make yourself look super busy. And then eventually your Calendly is going to be this busy because of the LinkedIn sales operating system and all the frameworks that you're implementing. So Is there a maximum amount of events per day? No, because you want to take as many as you can, especially with the way that you've structured your daily availability. Always keep this as it is, right? So the individual, when they go to booking on your Calendly, they see the time that is their time zone rather than your time zone. If not, it's just massively going to confuse. It's going to confuse everything. Now, this is possibly the biggest hack I can give you. The second biggest hack I can give you when it comes to Calendly. When meetings start on the hour or on the half an hour, you look like every other Tom, Dick, or Harry that's trying to sell to them. So this is why I customize this, and I'm like, every 12 minutes, there will be an availability for someone to book in with me. So there's going to be random times. And as and when they're asking me, like, why is it possible that at 4:12 or at 7:52 or maybe even at 11:22 in the morning, you're available, but you're not available at 11 or 11:30? Because I'm busy. Every minute counts. It works well. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this. And the next thing that we want to have a look at is the most important part of this whole entire Calendly framework exercise, the questions. So what do you want to receive from them? First of all, you want to change your meeting link. I would recommend your name, which is the default link that you've already created, then either 1 or 2 or 3, depending on how many events you have. Now, I already have 1 and 2, and I think I have 3 as well. Let's have a look. I don't. Maybe if I did 1. Okay, cool. But I'm just going to do 3 because this way, when I'm copy pasting my Calendly link to people, all I need to write is just calendly.com/Zach Derris/1. That's it. And as you can see by how I was just subconsciously holding my hands, I book a lot of meetings while I'm on my mobile phone versus on the computer. So it's very important that you make your link as short as possible so you can quickly put it out there to people. Stuff that you want to qualify. You want to get their name, you want to get their email, right? First name and last name, do you need to? It's completely up to you. Autofill invitee names, emails, and text reminder phone when applicable. Have that ticked. It's a nice way just to gather more data. Allow guests to invite. Yes, we're totally cool with that. And now here is the most important part, the questions. In the service offerings section of the LinkedIn operating system, I'm going to guide you through an exercise, which we'll probably get to in about half an hour to an hour from now, where we're going to focus on building your questions that you're going to place over here. But I'm just going to fast forward this and show you what I would do, and I'm going to explain why this is so important. So let me just stop the screen share for a second before I write the questions. Here we go. From the moment that someone books in on your Calendly, you have an opportunity to qualify them. And what I mean by that is you can strategically place questions in there so that as soon as they get on the phone, you can get through the boring icebreaker that everyone needs to go through. Hey, how are you? Thanks for booking in. Hey, how is life or whatever? But then as soon as you mention thanks for booking in, you have an opportunity to utilize the questions that you just created. For example, hey, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Super grateful that you booked in on my Calendly. By the way, I noticed when you booked in on Calendly, you mentioned that an area that you're really struggling with right now is your content creation. And you also mentioned that you're struggling with getting engagement on your content. Can you tell me why are you struggling with all of this? Because I'm taking a look at your content and the quality of stuff that you're putting out is great, adding value there. But why do you feel that you're struggling? This gives them the opportunity to open up and start expressing to you their failures or stuff that they're not really good at, which will give you the right kind of pain points, which we're going to do a customer pain point analysis shortly. Dramatic effect. To be able to position yourself in a way that you're going to be able to provide them with a solution to the answer by the end of the call. And I go a little step further because I make sure that the questions that I'm putting inside my Calendly lets them know whilst they're booking that they're going to be sold to. So just watch what I do over here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to edit this question. This is a rubbish question for me. I do not need to know this, right? First question is going to be about the money. So What is your current growth? What is your current growth and marketing budget on a monthly basis, right? That's going to be required. And then we're going to do check boxes. If they say zero, they will automatically get an email from me that says, unfortunately, at the moment, as you do not have a budget for growth and marketing or content support or whatever this event is going to be about, we're going to have to cancel the meeting. However, I would recommend that you read this free ebook called Crushing It on the LinkedIn Platform, which is going to provide you enough information to get started, start generating a revenue. And as and when you have a budget, come back to us and we can talk. I don't want to be taking calls from people, and you do not want to be taking calls from people that do not have the time, day, or the money to be able to pay for you. It's that straightforward. Yes, it's very aggressive, but at the end of the day, you are trying to run a business. No one pays you when you go on holiday. No one pays you when you're off sick. So you have to make sure every single conversation that you're having, the majority of them, is going to lead to a client paying you. And then I tactically put my price points for the rest of the options to subconsciously give them a rough idea in terms of what they're going to spend. So the first one I'm going to do is going to be, let's say, 340, because I charge a minimum of 170 hours, 170 euros per hour, but for a consultation, but I only do a minimum of a 2-hour consultation at any given point. And then I'm going to do 340 up to 1190, because the sales workshop that you're on right now typically goes for 1,190 euros. Then I'm going to do my next package up, which is 3,200 euros, and then up to 6,400, and I'm just going to leave it there, right? There will be other opportunities for me to show them the more higher price packages, but that's enough for them to have an idea. Wow, this guy has got random times for me to book in on his calendar. The first question that he's asking me shows me random price points, so it's going to create curiosity on their end to understand why you're so busy and what you have to offer. Everything that we're doing right now is psychological with a sales-driven mindset. And I'm okay with this for now. I'm not going to select the other option because, again, we only need to know one of these three things. The next question we're going to ask them is, what area of your business are you struggling with the most? This is a required question. We're going to do a checkbox, and then we're going to just populate the answers that I provided in the LinkedIn Sales Operating the System framework for service offering. And this is going to be content delivery, content production, content engagement, sales, lead generation, booking meetings, live events, raising capital. And you'll see very shortly in the service offering exercise for your customer pain points, I give you the opportunity to be able to identify what skills you possess right now that you can sell. And those are going to be the skills that you're going to use to qualify people. So just for the purpose of this exercise, so we can move on to other stuff, I'm just going to use the ones that I have right now. And it's very important that you align this in a way where it's going down on the downward pyramid, so it just looks nice and clean. There's literally no other reason behind this. So let me just align this really quickly for you all, and I believe this one will go right there. Looks about right to me. Cool. And we can include the other option for this. It's not an issue. Now, one of the questions I really like to ask to help me understand what type of service I can give them is, what best describes your current you? What best describes you, or what describes you best? This is required. We want to do a checkbox, right? Cool. So option number one is I want to learn how to grow and market my business. This shows me they're an independent person. They need to learn the skills because they don't currently have the budget to go ahead and hire an agency to do all of this stuff for them. So it means Zach needs to give them a one-to-one sales workshop for 1,190 euros with the potential upsell to another 1,700 euros just by them selecting that option. Option number two is they want an agency. This is the more premium side of things, where me and my team will come in, we'll take over all of their accounts, create all of their content, do all of their lead generation, do absolutely everything. So all they have to do is just do the delivery and execution for the customer. That's it. The whole entire sales process is taken care of. That starts from 3,200 a month. And then finally, I want to train my team. Now, this is one of the peak options where I have the choice of selling them as much stuff as possible, which could be upwards of 8,000 euros per month for at least 6 months. There's a lot of stuff included in there. That as and when we get to the pitch deck section, I'll go through it quickly and you can all have a look at how I craft myself and what packages I create. Don't want to select an other option over here. Just want to hit done. But this isn't enough. I want to be able to do a little bit of research before I jump on the call with them. And the first thing is, I'm personally getting loads of meetings booked at the first 2 weeks of every single quarter because that's my prospecting period. So I want to make sure that I have got their LinkedIn URL. So I can just straight away click on the URL as it shows in my Calendly. It will push me over to LinkedIn and I can associate their profile, see the messages that I've been using to prospect them, and then I can read through all their information before their call. Typically, whenever you're back to back, you can either spend the morning preparing for all your meetings or a few minutes before, if you're good at selling, just quickly have a look at all the information that they put in and maybe even make yourself a coffee at the same time. And yeah, just don't overthink it. You shouldn't overthink sales because people connect with people for a reason. And every single person who is taking a call with you, the world potentially would want you guys to see against each other and see with each other if there's a possibility for you to work together. Conversation for another day. But cool. I want to get their LinkedIn URL. I want to get their website. And then I want to throw in a nice question. Have you reviewed our pitch deck? Sales deck. Now, they're always going to say no. Let me do yes. No. They're always going to say no because I don't really send my pitch deck out unless I've already had a conversation with these people. It's intentional because it gives me something to show during the call. And because of the fact that they select no, I'm going to tell them during the call, as you've said, you haven't already seen our deck. I'm going to quickly show you a couple things and then I'm going to ping it over to you after this call. Okay. Actually, no, I say I'm going to ping it over to you on my next free availability because I've got a couple more calls that are starting soon. Psychological, I'm going to go through this on your first sales call and all of that stuff, which is in session 2. But trust me on this, make yourself seem as busy as possible. People pay for time. Never forget that. That's required. There is no other option. That's job done. At this stage, you're not going to collect any payment. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and skip this. One exercise I want you all to do when we get to the service offering is to craft your own questions. So feel free to use this as inspiration. I've put my answers inside the document as well. And if you want to use these exact questions, you can use them too. But as I mentioned at the very beginning, once they get on the call and you thank them for booking in on your Calendly, this is how you transition. Your first question could be, as you mentioned, your current marketing budget is $2,000 a month. Where are you allocating this? The other question that you start off with after you said, cheers for booking in on my Calendly, is you mentioned that the areas of your business that you're struggling the most with is sales. What's your current sales process? Or You mentioned to me that what you're searching for is for you to receive training or you need to train your team. How many people do you have in your team? Okay. Now, once there's a bunch of different types of premiums you can buy for Calendly, the one that redirects you to an external site is an extortionate cost for me. It's like $40 a month just for that one option. I don't really need it. So I'm okay for them to just go to the normal Calendly page on the $10 account a month I have. And then links to confirmation pages. This is currently scheduled as on. You can as off. You can turn it as on if you want them to schedule another event, but you shouldn't, right? And then we're just going to save and close. Now that all of that's done, you can go have a look at communication. And if you have Pro, it will give you the option to be able to like do some additional stuff. So you can immediately after they've booked, they get a calendar invitation. This is completely default and you can decide what's included and all of that stuff. And if you have a cancellation policy, you can put that in there. You don't need to, right? You can give them an email reminder 24 hours before the event. And you can also add another reminder if you have a premium account, like a more premium than what I have. And then finally, any text reminders, if you're asking for their phone number, that can automatically go out as well. And you can do an email follow-up as well. But again, I'm not on an account where I can do that because I don't need to do all of that stuff. By the time I send out my Calendly and they booked in, it's very rare that they cancel the meeting because they know that they need me in their life at that point because of the audio notes, the engagement, all the videos that we're going to record, all the sales content that we're going to utilize. They need you and you need to have this kind of mindset. Cool. Cool. We're good. We are literally good to go. And now we're going to have a look at the live event page. So this is what they're going to see. Zach's really busy. He's only available on the 13th, which is 2 days from now, or the 15th. And then in January, he's only got a couple of availabilities that people can book in with him. And because of the fact that there is already stuff in my calendar, it's not going to show them the 3 or 4 time slots all the time, right? They can even book in at 3:36 or 3:38 or 4 o'clock. You'll find out that people are like control freaks and they're going to go for either on the hour or on the half an hour, which looks really good. So they're just going to go for that. So there we go. That's basically it. But now what is it going to look like for them? They're going to go and choose a date. They're going to select the time. They're going to hit next and they're going to type in their information. They can add a guest if they want to. And now they're going to select their budget. They can then choose any of the options I've asked for. They can describe themselves. And typically people will just be copy pasting this stuff. I'm just manually typing it in and they're going to select that. And that's it. They're going to go ahead and schedule the event. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and schedule the event. See Zach, new event. And you're going to see exactly the same thing as well. And then as you go down, you've got all of your answers over here. Just before the event, 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before, I'm going to pop this open. I'm going to have a quick look. Obviously, I take a look initially, and if it says 0, then I send out that automatic email message because they don't have a budget. They said 0 budget, and then I cancel it. But if they have put a price point down there, I'm going to have a good understanding of what I'm going to be able to focus on during that particular call. In call 2, you could like offer more price points because you would have shown it to them by then. I'm going to know what areas they have the most amount of interest in terms of building out their struggles and improving them, and then what they want to focus on in terms of what describes them best. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and do yourself a favor and utilize Calendly. Ever since I used it, it's 10x my meetings by over 4,000%. There is a video that you have access to in the Sales Navigator framework, which once you click on it and you go to YouTube, it's called How to Grow and Market Your Business on the LinkedIn Platform in 2024. There is a part in that where I show my Calendly on screen and I show you how many booked meetings, closed meetings, qualified meetings that I've done in January because of Calendly, because of this framework. If I can do it, you can do it too. Let's move on to the next part of this wonderful system. So now, as you've seen inside the LinkedIn Sales Operating the system, The Calendly section is very in-depth and there is a lot of step-by-step information. Not a lot of you are going to go through it based on what you've just seen me do right now. You may not going to be able to need all the information that I provided to you. So one thing that you can do on your system is you can do a Control and F find, type in part one, go back to the table of what's included in part one, right? Or just scroll through the Calendly section and click on AI tools to fast track your success. This is the final part of part one, the setup, and then we're going to move over to service development. Now, it's really important. Let me just full screen this. It's really important that I give you a caution. The integration of artificial intelligence has become a cornerstone in shaping strategies and achieving unparalleled results. We all get that. Amongst various platforms for B2B marketing, LinkedIn, we all know, is a powerhouse because we have over 1 billion users, which means over 1 billion opportunities for you to tap into. This guide that I'm about to walk you through explores some of the AI-driven tools that are reshaping marketing when it comes to LinkedIn. As a certified instructor who works closely with the LinkedIn team, especially the Web3 team and the product team, I don't recommend using any of these tools. However, when I was conducting my market research for this workshop, everyone that I spoke to said you wanted some AI tools. So I'm giving you what you want. However, the primary purpose of the LinkedIn Sales Operating the system and this workshop is to equip you with the skills, the frameworks, the knowledge that you need to be able to organically build your relationships, ladies and gentlemen. You do not need any of these tools whatsoever. And using them possesses a huge risk of you having your account permanently deleted and restricted from LinkedIn. Why? Because it's a gray area. The platform tells you you are not allowed to utilize any AI or automation tools. It's in their terms of service. So if your LinkedIn platform is your net worth, which it should be, why would you put that at risk? So if you choose to proceed and use these tools, regardless of my advice, I can only urge you to approach all of these tools with the utmost caution. I personally choose to not use any of these AI tools for my LinkedIn profile because my profile represents my net worth. LinkedIn clearly states in its terms and conditions that it's forbidden. This is why I'm repeating it. And AI tools is just not something that you need when it comes to LinkedIn. Hopefully, this serves as a cautionary tale that encourages you all to close this section of the document and return back to the main part of the operating the system and focus on part two, which is building out your service. However, if you remain interested in proceeding, then feel free to proceed. Now, before delving into the contents, I need to emphasize again, AI should not be employed for relationship building. However, let's say 1 in 5 people that are in the program are probably going to express an interest in using AI to automate their journey, and there's nothing I can do about that. So it is essential to note that I neither recommend or endorse any of these tools, and I am aware of the successful application. Sorry, I don't recommend or endorse any of these tools. However, some of my clients have used these tools and they've had successful application with the tools. So let's just dive in straight away. There's 10 tools. Authored Up, Resonate, one by the name of the Linked Out, then Human the Linker, then Link OAI, Link XP, Viral Post Generator, Engage AI, Outboundly, LinkedIn Manager, which is part of the LinkedIn platform, but still, I don't recommend you spending money on paid ads. So that's why I just threw it in there. You don't need to use it. Say hi and then a brief conclusion. Now, yes, I just gave you a caution and I said don't use any tools. However, there's one tool called Authored Up, which I am okay with you trying. Okay, they have a 2-week free trial that you can utilize, and then after that, if you decide to pay for it, you type in code ZAC LSOS, which is L for LinkedIn Sales Operating System, and you'll get like 10 or
15%. I don't remember what I negotiated, right? You'll get 10 or 15% of a discount every single month. Now, the reason is I work closely with Ivana, the founder of the tool. It's really good for formatting your content and giving you like viral post ideas and hooks and stuff like that. And it also gives you a very in-depth analysis of your content. So it analyzes absolutely everything from your engagements, what performed well, best times for you to post, and all of this stuff. This is decent, but still it poses a risk because it's an external tool. So if you don't check out any of the other tools, amazing, fantastic, very proud of you. If you want to check out one, go check out this. It's not that bad. Because I'm not passionate about AI tools for LinkedIn, I'm not going to spend time on this recording going through any of these. So just take your time, go through all of these, click on the links to check out the websites. If you wish to, which you shouldn't, set up an account, give it a go, take their free trials, and see what works well for you. But you have the world's best organic framework and system, the LinkedIn Sales Operating System. So why do you need any of this? In 6 hours time, 7 hours time, after we've all completed this course, you'll see, don't need any of it. Because typically, and this is a really nice place to take a pause and then go for a quick 5-minute break. Typically, people will send 100 or 200 connection requests out every single week with the aim, as it relates to law of averages, of getting maybe 20 to 30 accepted connections. And from that, hopefully just having one booked meeting. We do things very differently in the LinkedIn Sales Operating the system and the workshop. We send 10 to 15 connection requests out a day as a maximum if we need to. From that, we're going to generate anywhere from 30 to 40 meetings every single week. From that, you can generate 50% of them if you implement absolutely every single element of the workshop and the framework and the tools and resources, not the AI stuff that I'm giving you. You're consistent, you're adding value, you're putting out good content, and you learn my sales process that I'm going to be showing you throughout this whole entire thing. But none of it is going to be possible unless you craft your service offering first. So go ahead and take a break, take 5 minutes, take 10 if you need to, take 5 minutes. And then we're going to dive straight into building out your service offering. See you in a minute. Okay, so we got part 1 out of the way, optimization. Now we're going to focus on part 2 of part 1, which is your service development. In order to be able to develop your services and your pitch deck, first we must understand what your customers want. And to be able to do this, I've crafted a really easy to implement 20-minute exercise, which is your customer discovery and pain point analysis, which we're going to do in a minute. Firstly, your customers desire 4 things: value, revenue, knowledge, and engagement. In order for them to gain that revenue, engagement must come first. Now, engagement can manifest in various forms: closed deals, booked meetings, number of responses, or number of comments. However, to achieve that engagement, they must first acquire knowledge. The most significant objections people will present are price and time. They may resist spending money you ask for, or they may believe they won't have the time to implement what you are offering. So how do you overcome this? You have to provide them with so much value and so much of the knowledge that they are not going to question the price or time commitment. You need to understand what they truly want. And there are 4 ways to do this: building trust, analyzing their social behavior, asking them the right questions, and giving them more value than they expect. Building trust, consistently engaging in their content is a great place to start. Analyze their social behavior, what they like and what they comment on. This isn't restricted just to LinkedIn. This is what you need to do to understand what they enjoy and what they need. And you need to understand what makes them tick socially. When you're asking your prospects questions about themselves, their life, their journey, and their business, you are showing genuine interest in this person.
Over time, they will open up to you because you have built the trust, and they will openly tell you how you can help them rather than you telling them how you can help them and what they would be willing to pay for this help. And finally, value. When salespeople are trying to close deals, they often hold back so much valuable information. They reserve the good stuff for when customers have paid them. These salespeople, in my opinion, will not scale and cannot succeed. They're what I call temporary salespeople. Eventually, they may quit their entrepreneurial journey and return to a minimum wage 9 to 5 job. The salespeople that generate 7 figures plus in revenue are the ones who give the most amount of gold away for free. If a prospect reviews your content and consistently gains the knowledge, the wisdom, and inspiration from you, then half the job is already done, ladies and gentlemen. The more value that you provide, the more opportunities that you create for yourself. Completing the following 20-minute customer discovery and pain point exercise that I'm about to share on the screen, which you have access to on the part 2 of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, part 1, which is about service development, is an exercise that should give you a really good idea of how to develop your offering to meet the customer's requirements. To illustrate how I've implemented this for myself, I've also answered all of these questions from the perspective of when I first created my business. Now, after reaching my yearly financial target, I go through this process at the end of every single year before creating new offerings and developing my 365-day strategy to ensure that I can offer the best services available for my clients. Let's get stuck in and do this pain point analysis. 20 minutes, the objective. Identify your target audience and understand their pain points is a crucial step in developing a customer-centric service offering. First, you must ask yourself, who are your ideal customers? Now, here's a little bit of guidance. Utilize existing customer data if you have that available. Take a look at past sales records, the website analytics, or social media insights to be able to identify the demographics of your current customers. For example, check the age range, the geographical location, the common characteristics of your current customer base if you have one. If you don't have one, the next part of this exercise where we're going to be building out the actual service offering is going to be very helpful for you to answer this question. So if you cannot answer this question right now, still go through the recording and then come back to this in about an hour or so. So my answer in terms of who my ideal customer is very straightforward. My ideal customer is someone who believes in themselves. They don't want to be employed and they want to successfully run their own business. They know that they're able to deliver. They just need a little bit of guidance on how to sell. Therefore, my main ICP, ideal customer profile, are consultants, advisors, and coaches. People who sell their time as a service to help other people build and grow. On the flip side, my other ideal customer is the founder of a growth and marketing agency that wants to scale. Now ask yourself, who's your ideal customer? Write it down. Just start typing. Then we're going to go over to the next point, which is going to be what problems or needs do they have? Here's the guidance. The only way to understand what problems or needs your customers have is by asking them. And this exercise that we just did, that you just saw me do on Calendly questions, this is where it comes into play. This is where you craft your own questions. So in your Calendly booking questions, we need to implement specific questions that can be discussed during the first sales call. Write down 4 qualifying questions or use mine if you feel they are suitable that should be included in your Calendly questions to qualify your customers before speaking to them. Now, I've already shown you this, but I'm going to go through it again really quickly and give you my reason behind it. So first question that I ask is the cost, the budget that they have available for their growth and marketing on a monthly basis. It's twofold, as I mentioned before. It gives them a good understanding of what my price points are, and it lets me know if they have money and what level of service I can pitch them. Everybody understands that the more that they pay, the more they will receive. Not better quality, that's a myth. And don't be tricked by that. And don't trick people into doing that. But the more that they pay, they should receive more value and more tasks and more time through that.
Second question is, what area do you want to improve the most? You saw all the options and you can see it on the screen as well. And the reason why I detailed this is because it gives me a good understanding of their pain points and what I can sell to them because I have a service for each of these pain points. And then the next one is going to be what describes you best, which option describes you best. And that's either I need an agency, I need to learn myself, or I need to train my team. And again, it allows me to understand the level of service and the different types of services that I should pitch them during this brief 17 to 20-minute call that we have. And then another question is during our call, I didn't include this on the example, but it's a good one to include this there. During our call, what is one valuable piece of knowledge you'd like me to share with you? And I give some options of stuff that I'm happy to give away for free. Advice on content engagement, better quality content, personal branding, raising capital, more sales and leads. And the reason is straightforward. This helps them understand what they can potentially benefit just by taking a call. So, worst case scenario, these people are going to jump on a call for 20 minutes, come speak to me, and take away the one thing that they need the most. And I do this intentionally so that they have a conversation with me. They instantly implement this little bit of advice that I gave them. And I always make sure I say this cheesy one-liner at the end. If you took value from what I told you in the past 20 minutes, I'm not even scratching the surface. Just so it's embedded in their DNA and their brain that there's more to come. Now, write down your questions. Write down 4 questions. Feel free to use mine, but try and craft your own as it relates to how you would like to qualify your customers before the call. Biggest struggles. I want you to put yourself in your customer's shoes. If the tables were turned, under what circumstances would they buy from you? Consider previous customers that you've sold to, if you have sold to previous customers, and think back to why they decided to work with you in the first instance. Here's my answer in terms of struggles. They don't know where to start. They don't have any processes, frameworks, or structures in place. They have a look at LinkedIn and get intimidated by the amount of engagement and content that their competitors are receiving and getting. They believe that they have a great product, but they don't know how to communicate their product. They struggle with their personal branding and need guidance on how to become a thought leader. They want to sell, but have no success, but they have not successfully or consistently closed any deals through LinkedIn. Their business is on all of these are or and ors. Their business is on the verge of closing down and they need a lifeline. In the most cocky and arrogant way ever, because I am incredibly amazing at what I do, they need Zach. They need me. And people pay for this confidence, by the way. So just keep that in mind. Once we've got that information, we can start breaking down our customer. And this is going to help us for the Sales Navigator framework that we're going to go through shortly. I want everyone right now, you can either pause or you can just quickly type it in, but I want you to break down your ideal customer. Put some keywords as it relates to them. Put their location, their industry, their function, their job title, the size of their company. Because this is going to help you really identify how you're going to build out your pipeline. Here's my answers. One of my biggest keywords are Web3. Anyone in the Web3 space I can sell to because I know the industry very well. I've worked on hundreds of projects in the space. I've had a lot of success there. And thankfully on the LinkedIn platform, I've been established as a thought leader in the Web3 industry. Location, based on statistics of who I've sold to, European or North American clients are the easiest for me to not only sell to, but also to manage. Industry-wise, anyone in consulting, coaching, recruitment, advertising, sales, or marketing, that's the right industry I want to target. The function is sales. I want to sell to salespeople because they're going to appreciate the value that I give more than anyone else. Now, believe it or not, every single person in this room is a salesperson. That's why you purchased the LinkedIn sales operating system. You just don't know that you're a salesperson yet. You believe that you're a coach, or you're a consultant, or you're an advisor, or you're an agency owner, but somewhere within you is a salesperson that needs to come out and will flourish. Job title wise, there's 3 job titles I normally stick to, either consultant, coach, or CEO, or founder as well. Then company headcount for coaches, 1 to 10 employees, right? I want to go for them small independent business owners, these one man or one woman bands. And agency wise, I want to go to 50 to 100 employees maximum. I don't really want to go for corporate agencies. It's just not my kettle of fish. Once you've completed this, you will now understand who your customer is just based on these 4 questions and that customer breakdown and what their struggles are. Through the development of this process, you will have also uncovered what prices you can sell, who you should be prospecting, what services you can offer. And if it helps, use the space below just to write everything down in one section so you can utilize this for the future. So what prices can you sell your services for? Just ballpark, put some stuff down. Who you should be prospecting and what services that you can offer. As I mentioned, this information is going to be very useful for the rest of the service offering and the right way of prospecting, which we'll do next week. Now that we've done that, we've done the customer pain point analysis, we're going to get into the fun stuff. We're going to build out your service offering. Now, here's a really quick, let's call it a disclaimer. The services that I believe that you should sell are stuff that you're good at. You may not even know that you're good at something until you learn it. So this is why it's absolutely essential. Every single person within this workshop, they take their time to constantly educate themselves for the rest of their life. Even if it's half an hour a day, 10 minutes a day, go on YouTube, learn something new, download a new ebook, read a new course, buy a new course, just constantly educate yourself. Because the more you learn, the more you can sell. That's it. I'm smiling because I'm constantly adding new services to my business that a year ago I wouldn't have even dreamed of offering. Why? Because I'm constantly educating myself. Let's dive in. So we're going to go through refining your service offerings, 4 struggles that your customers face. How do you help them overcome this? All the skills that you're good at, which skills you can educate other people on, which skills you can offer as a service, categorizing your service, the different revenue streams that you like to generate, detailing your business model, and my answers. Now, let me just hone in on something really, really, really quickly. Entrepreneurs that I've briefly touched on, but I'm going to go in more detail. Entrepreneurs encounter a very significant challenge in identifying what they can sell. There is no point in prospecting or booking meetings if you don't have a service offering that sells. Identifying what you sell now is going to save you considerable amounts of time in the future. Best thing about entrepreneurship is that you build offers as you go on. We will always end up crafting bespoke offerings for our clients depending on their needs. In 2 years, as I just detailed, you may not be offering the same stuff that you're presently offering to your customers. Therefore, it's important to document every new offer you create and to include it in your future pitch decks. If one client would want something from you that you created on a bespoke offering, others are probably going to want it too. So to get you started, we're going to dive into a straightforward 30-minute exercise that you can complete to start crafting your offerings. Now, as I mentioned, I've created a section titled Zach's Answers, and that's what we're going to go through now to give you some guidance and so that you can take inspiration from how I've used this section to develop my own service offerings. And once you've completed this exercise, we're going to go through to the pitch deck. So let's dive straight in. I'm just going to show you what it looks like on your end first. So this is in the system. And you're going to have to answer all of these questions, right? Step by step by step. Your business name, your tagline, your business bio, all the questions, absolutely everything that I'm detailing. And I'm going to go through it in a lot more detail, but as it relates to my answers, just to be able to inspire you a little bit further. So let's get started. What's my business name? Zach Derris Training Services, aka ZDTS. For those of you who have not created your business name yet, let me tell you something. People pay for the brand. What do Sarah Blakely, Richard Branson, and Gary Vaynerchuk all have in common? Personal brand. Even though they all have very successful businesses, Sarah Brinkley has got Spanx, Richard Branson has got Virgin, Gary Vaynerchuk has got a bunch of stuff, including VaynerMedia. All of their company pages on social media have a much smaller following versus their personal pages because people pay for the human. People don't buy products or services, even though that's what we're selling. They buy people. So always remember that. When I crafted the name Zach Harris Training Services, there was a name before that. That me and my friend Chris, when we were sitting in his front room, were considering what I should call my sales training business. And that was Show Me the Money because we had Jerry Maguire on the TV. But I was like, no, it doesn't resonate with me. Even though it makes a lot of sense, it doesn't actually resonate. It's me, Zach Harris, and these are my training services. It's that simple. But that name is worth over €1 million now. So go with the first thing that comes to your head and then ignore it and then go for the second one because that's the one that's going to work. Tagline: simplifying the internet to help you grow is what I do. I show people how to simplify social media to help them grow their businesses. Now, my business bio is I help small business owners 10x their revenue, acquire more customers, and establish themselves as a thought leader within their niche. That information over there is your splash page of your pitch deck. Done. Struggles that your customers face. These are 4 struggles Zach's customers face before they come to Zach. They struggle to book meetings. They believe that they do not have enough time for sales. They struggle with convincing people to buy their service, or they have imposter syndrome and they don't believe that they're good at what they do. So for those who struggle to book meetings, the way that I help them overcome it is I build them a system and process like what you're receiving right now. For those that don't believe that they have enough time for sales, I help them simplify their time, externalize their time, get organized, and also be able to delegate their tasks. For those that struggle with convincing people to buy their services, I teach them how to sell by building them an undeniable sales framework, which is what you guys are getting in the LinkedIn sales operating system. Finally, for my imposter syndrome friends that don't believe that they're good at what they do, I help them understand their value, why they started their business, and their worth. That's normally done within a 1-hour consultation. The next section is so important. So obviously, everyone in this room, I want you to be going through all of this stuff. So you can like pause this video whenever you want, scroll back up or open up the document on the side and just pause and complete all of this stuff as I'm talking. However you choose to navigate through this learning, it's on demand, it's completely your choice. But the next section is uber important. I want you to detail every single skill that you're good at. And this is just everything, just absolutely everything that in the present day you are good at. So as it relates to Zach, LinkedIn is a skill, communication, copywriting, engaging with others, it's a skill, identifying prospects, booking meetings, negotiating sales, closing deals, building processes, building templates, building frameworks, marketing strategy, quick thinking, solution development, and problem solving. I'm good at all of these things. Now, I sell all of these things too. Before we get to that, now I want you to detail all the skills that you believe you can educate other people on. This is my belief. I can educate people on LinkedIn because I know how to use that as a skill, on communication, in sales or in their personal life, copywriting, engaging with others. I have a service offering for all of these things. So this is why I'm jotting absolutely everything down. It's identical. It's exactly the same as the list above. And essentially, you should be copy pasting all your skills that you're good at to all the skills that you can educate other people on. Now I want you to simplify it a little bit. Once you've appreciated and understood the skills that you're good at and the skills that you can educate other people on, put them into categories. All the skills you can offer as a service, right? Prospecting, sales development, training, sales generation, content editing, content production, content development, copywriting, negotiation. That's everything that I can sell as a service, which is a breakdown or a merge of all of these things. Hopefully there's some smiley faces right now because you see where I'm going with this. And finally, we're going to have to break everything down into a service category because this is going to be useful for your pitch deck as well. So as you've understood all the skills that I'm good at, I'm breaking it down into 5 categories, and I wrote if applicable because for some people, they may not be offering sales or growth or strategy or marketing or technology or whatever. So just you decide what categories you want to put them into. This is my requirement. Now I've done like, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 lines, and that's fine. But for you, it can be 1 or 2. It doesn't need to be a lot. You decide how you want to break stuff down. Sales wise, I'm going to be building pipelines. I'm going to offer that as a service, lead generation, creating funnels, automation, booking meetings, closing deals, account management, and sales training. Marketing wise, I'm going to offer brand development, social optimization, content creation, content scheduling. Influence management means I show you how to manage influencers, and I do manage influencers for people. Ad campaigns, organic campaigns, partnership management. Growth wise, community growth, community management or development, community automation, investor relations, live events, influencer partnerships, consultations with industry experts. I have a network of people I can tap people into that I charge for. Growth hacking, and then strategy, the LinkedIn sales operating system. Sales manuals, messaging templates, closing process, community growth and management, marketing and brand development processes, partnership protocol, white maps, roadmaps, white papers, utilities, and service development, what we're doing right now. Technology. I always say to my customers when they go through this type of section, sales technology. This is technology as it relates to sales. So sales tools and platforms that they need to utilize, content tools, social platforms, community platforms, CRMs, which are customer relationship management software, project management marketplaces, and analytics. Now, this is where it gets really fun. You may believe that consulting or offering a service is the only revenue stream that you can offer. You're absolutely wrong. And I'm here to show you a completely different way. With the exception of 2, which I hope to launch next year, all of these services I currently, in this present day, make money from. Sales workshops. You're on right now, but I normally charge €1,190 for a 7-hour session that goes through all of this stuff. Hourly consultation. As a minimum, I charge €170 an hour, but I don't do a minimum of a 1-hour session. I do 2 hours as a minimum. Sales training, I do it. Account takeover for clients, take over 8 accounts every single month. Sales generation for clients. I've got a few clients where they put me on a large retainer and I generate all of their sales for them on a monthly basis, and I scale their team. Hosting paid live events. People pay me to host their audio events and their video events on LinkedIn. Absolutely baffles me. I probably sell 1 or 2 every quarter. It's an add-on service, which I'll get to in the pitch deck, but it pays. Creating content for clients. I've got 2 or 3 clients where every single month I just make content for them. Monetizing my fan base and community. This is a revenue stream that I've curated because for the past 12 months, I've been building out the 100 community completely free of charge. And because of all the value that I've been giving away, people within the community have been coming to me and asking me to sell to them, asking me to help them grow. I never had to pitch them. There's 500 people in the community. I'm not going to go for every single lead and be like, hey, do you want my services? That's not how it works. You constantly give free value away to your community. And then the ones that really want you to support them are the ones that are really going to benefit from it, but they're going to come to you. Creating products and books and selling merchandise are 2 that I'm going to hopefully start doing next year. But speaking engagements and the monthly retainers from clients are also 2 additional sources of revenue that I have. Now let's rewind to 2017. I literally had sales training. I was the only one. I will show you the pitch deck. I literally just trained people on how to use the LinkedIn platform. That's what gave me the confidence to quit my job. I understood. I'll save it for the next part of this, but I basically understood that I have a skill and I can sell this because I've been training people within my employed company on how to do it. Why can't I train other people in the world? And there we go. It all starts with one service, ladies and gentlemen. Then you can build them up every single year, add another service. 10 years from now, you've got 10 services, you're happy, you're minted, you're loving life. Now, there's a bunch of different sections that I've detailed over here, which I'm just going to show you. I'm asking people to detail their business model, and this is how I broke it down. Consulting, account takeover, workshops, live events, speaking engagements, and product sales. Everything that I detailed about the different revenue streams that I would like to create. Hourly rate, price per package, cost of service, or subscription, or a subscription model. Whichever one is suitable for you, just write that one down. For me, it's the hourly rate. My whole entire business model, everything I do, even this workshop, is based on the hourly rate. If you're struggling with identifying your hourly rate, you need to ask yourself the following questions. How much money were you making before tax in your last employed job? Whenever your last employed job was, write that amount down. For me, it was 50 euros. How much money do you need per month just to survive? 4 grand. What do you value your time at? 170. Why do you value your time at this price? It's highly competitive because I've done my market research. If I was starting out as a business owner and I needed Zach services, this is a figure that I could personally afford to pay someone for their time. Now I want you to calculate, this is where it gets super fun. Now I want you to calculate how many paid hours you will have to work to generate your minimum required monthly survival rate. Because once you have this amount, you're going to know how much you need to sell every month. For me, if I do the math, I need 4K a month. Divide that by the hourly rate, which is 170. I need to I need to execute for 123. No, sorry. I need to execute for 23 and a half paid hours. So the following text is from the document I created in 2020 when I was outlining my 2020 to 2021 business strategy. Let's put this into perspective, Zach. That's what I wrote. I just didn't want to put it there. I need to work 23 and a half hours a month. Therefore, I've crafted a 7-hour workshop priced at 1,190 euros, and I set a minimum consulting booking of 2.5 hours, which is 425 euros. Consequently, and therefore, I only need to sell 3 workshops and 1 consultation to reach my minimum required monthly survival rate. By implementing the LinkedIn sales operating system, which has been in the development for the past 5 years, I can comfortably sell 10 workshops a month with no stress off my back whatsoever. The best month I've ever had was this September just gone, hence why I've done this on such a huge amount of a discount just for fun. Was 23 workshops. If you do the math on that, that's 24K. Keep in mind, I also have 10 other revenue streams that I can tap into. So with the LinkedIn sales operating system, I am making very good money, and you should be doing the same as well. Now, because of the fact that I've detailed everything for you in this 126 page of a document and the other stuff that you're going to see in session 2 and session 3, which is going to blow your mind away. It's not text. It's all very visual, interactive. You're going to love this. So don't be overwhelmed by the stuff that I'm showing you now. You're going to be able to do this stuff a lot faster than I did. And you know what? I'm so grateful that I did not have a Zach to show me how to do all of this stuff, because building out the whole entire journey has been really fun for me. And if I was not the one that was building it out, I could not be the one that sat here today and giving you all this information. So if I wanted to, I could spend 10 hours a month prospecting and closing deals and 23 hours a month executing on services just to break even. But here comes the arrogant sales guy within me. I love money, and money doesn't buy happiness. It buys freedom, and I want freedom, and it also buys crazy ass kind of happiness, and I want that crazy ass kind of happiness. Therefore, I work around 50 hours a week. You do the math, and now it's your turn. It's that simple. Please complete all the questions that I've detailed above, and then let's dive into the pitch deck
development. Now, you don't have to work as much as I do, and I do not recommend it, but you make a living selling the services that you have crafted. The rate of how much you work, ladies and gentlemen, is completely down to you. Let's take another break for 2 or 3 minutes, right? And then let's dive into the pitch deck development. See you in a moment. So now that we have completed the customer pain point analysis and the service offering, we're going to begin by crafting out your pitch deck. So in this section, we're going to implement the service offering that we've just developed. I'm going to help you craft your pitch deck in a way that it sells and adds value to your clients. Now, an important factor to consider is that your pitch deck is the most vital piece of sales content that you would ever require. Pitch deck enables your clients to understand what you offer, what they're going to pay, and what value they're going to receive from your services. Now, throughout my lifetime, I've built many pitch decks, but now I only use 4 pitch decks, which are detailed in the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, part 1, and then part 2, which is focused on service development, which is what you're on right now. So if you have a look at the system, you'll be able to see the 4 decks that I have available for everyone to review, which are my workshops, which is this deck over here, my virtual courses, which is essentially how everything really started out, my sales solutions, which are my B2B model, and then my speaking engagements. This is for the unique circumstances where people want to hire me to come and speak to their corporate employees or put me on stage to deliver a keynote speech. Specifically, though, I'm giving you access to my workshop deck, which I'm going to detail in a lot of information later on in this segment on how you can utilize it to craft your own. Now, something that's really important that I'm not going to go through right now is the evolution of absolutely everything, because my deck's proposals and quotes haven't always been as pretty as they are right now. They were actually pretty horrendous. So what I did was, just to really put stuff into perspective, was I've provided you access to my first free invoices that I've ever sent out. Obviously, I've blanked out the important information in there, but it's just for you to see that people will buy your stuff no matter how you present them. But I wasn't successfully scaling the business at that point. I had invoices and decks in there, and I'll just show you one really quickly, but please do take a moment to have a look at these. This is like for my first official customer once I left employment, and I actually crafted my first quote. I got this on day 6 of setting up my business for about $900. And this is what the quote looks like. And when I have a look at this right now, I'm like, damn, this is absolutely horrible. And thankfully, none of you are going to make quotes like this ever again, because I'm giving you a framework and a template that you can adhere to. But the most important thing to understand why you benefit from reading that evolution section of the system is that the reason why all these people purchased what I offered is because I had what they needed. They wanted to sell on LinkedIn, but didn't know how. And I'm sharing this with you because people need whatever you are offering. They just haven't realized it yet. Your pitch deck will give them the confidence that you are the credible source they need to work with, and you will drive them the results that they require. As it relates to you, as I mentioned, you don't need to have the subpar proposals that I did like 5 years ago. You're going to be able to use all of my decks as inspiration for crafting your own. And if you craft your decks with my vision in mind, you will, and I mean you will, fast forward your growth by a few years and achieving my numbers in a much shorter period of time. Below, in this section, you're going to have the opportunity to use the template of the workshop, which I will open up in detail and a lot more information. And that is one of my most successful pitch decks, and I want you all to apply it to your own business. Now, before I show that deck, I need to talk through the recommended pitch deck structure. We need to first explore the most successful format of a sales deck. And the reason this pitch deck, which I'm about to show you, performs exceptionally well is due to the effective formatting. It's straight to the point. The call to action is on slide 2. The third slide dives into the services. The prices are in the deck. It's not overwhelming with irrelevant information.
And the prospects know exactly what they're going to spend because of the prices being on the deck. So I want everyone to follow all the steps I'm about to walk you through so you can really understand the importance of a powerful sales deck. So now we're going to focus on every single page and I'm going to break down for you why it's so important. Let's have a look at the splash page. This is the introductory page, which serves as the initial slide your prospects will encounter. This splash page also functions as a thumbnail for the document when you share this via social media or email. First impressions absolutely matter, and this slide should establish the right tone from the very start. And the key elements that you should include, as you can see on the screen, are the logo, your picture of you, the logo of the people you are prospecting, your tagline, and what is included in the deck. Now, next, one of my favorite slides is the process slide. One reason why your favorite gurus do not close as many deals as you will is that they leave their call to actions until the very end of their pitch decks. By incorporating your call to action at the beginning of your deck, you're encouraging your prospect to spend more time pursuing it. What that means is they may find themselves navigating back and forth through slides because this isn't the format that they are accustomed to. I've observed clients going through my deck live on screen, and almost every single time they jump back to the call to action page after reviewing a few offers to refresh their memory on what the next phase is of working with me. Stick to the format that I've created for you in this template, and all you need to do is update your Calendly link. That's all. Next, we're going to have a look at the intro package. This slide is dedicated to providing detail about the first solution you've recommended for your customers to purchase. This could encompass an initial consultation, a comprehensive strategy package, a package for the development and for the setup. Feel free to choose any other option that aligns with your goals. However, it is advisable that you set the cost at a relatively low level for this package, since the intention is to pave the way for upselling other products or services in the future. Key elements to include in this is the solution title, the process description, titles of each of the offers, detailed bullet points, duration, and cost. Now that we got that out of the way, we're going to have a look at the main offering. Once you've given your prospect a glimpse of what they can offer, of what they can benefit, it's time to present the main offer. This offer must be irresistible, demanding a wealth of detail and leaving nothing to the imagination. Key elements you should include here are your solution title, your process description, title of the offer, extensive, as you can see on the screen, detailed bullet points, and a 3 to 4 cost breakdown. So give them a couple of options. Now, the reason why we provide clients with 3 or 4 cost options is to give them choices. During the sales call, we always explain, depending on how fast you want to grow, these are the packages that you can choose from. All of these services can be conducted in either 10 or 15 or 20 or 50 or 125 hours, but the speed of the service is completely your choice. So as I said, I just tell customers, how fast do you want to grow? Do you want me to crush all your sales goals within the next 30 days? Or do you want me to do it slowly over the period of the next 6 months? Again, it's just down to their budget. Now, here's where things get fun. You have the option of having an add-on page, and I would highly recommend, if you cannot do it now, eventually do something like this, because it's an additional service. You're not going to sell a lot of these, but occasionally someone will ask for them, so it's good to have them readily available. In the pitch deck template, which is this pitch deck right now, but I'm going to show you a templated version of it, my selected add-on services are these live events. I generate a high volume of attendees through my live events, so it kind of makes sense to me to offer this to my clients. Now remember, clients will always pay for awareness. That doesn't imply that they are paying for conversion. They simply want to be heard and they want to be seen. So the next one is the workshop or the crash course. And a massive benefit that every single person has received by purchasing the LinkedIn Sales Operating System is at the very end of this whole entire workshop, you receive a bonus feature, which is how to build and sell your very own workshop. So I'm going to detail it step by step by step. So if right now you're thinking, Zach, I don't know how to launch a workshop, hey, don't worry, I have you covered. Not every single client will have the funds or the confidence to invest in your introductory or main solutions. Therefore, it's important to have a quick in and out service that they can opt into. They believe it's in and out, but there's always an upsell. This workshop / crash course will provide them with a good understanding of what it's like to work with you. In lesson 3, we will detail how this workshop can transition into an upsell. 1 in 2 workshop clients of mine always opt in for the upsell. Why? Because it's packed full of value. When developing your workshop slides, it's crucial to break down every single hour of the workshop so clients can gain a thorough understanding of what they will achieve by participating in the workshop. And what I mean by that is the second part of this is a session breakdown. It's like in the first hour, you receive this. The second hour, you get this. Third, you get this. Fourth, you get this. Fifth, sixth, seven, and then an important funny note at the end. But before that, I do a pre-session where I give my customers a discovery document, which is a list of 40 questions. And they have to complete these questions, which I review completely free of charge, which saves me 3 or 4 hours in the initial consultation. So the time that they are spending with me, it's not me learning, it's me just executing for them. Key elements that I want you to include are the workshop title, your process description, goals that they're going to achieve, a detailed breakdown of each of the elements that I've just highlighted, the duration and the pricing. So you can see over here at the bottom, I put 7 hours and total cost is 1,190 euros. Now we get into the why. This is your opportunity to essentially explain why you are the right choice. You can utilize this slide for testimonials, building confidence, or providing additional valuable information. Some key elements to include here are a page title, a hook, some visual elements, what we specialize in, and how they will benefit. And that's it. And then finally, another call to action page. You want to make sure that you list all of your contact details. You want to provide your prospect with every single possible way for them to purchase from you. Key elements are your email, your website, your booking link, and all your social media links. And that's it. So now let's do something fun and let's start crafting your pitch deck. So what I want absolutely everyone to do is go to the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, which is over here. And then I want you to go on crafting your pitch deck. If you are lost in the document at this stage, I want you to just do Control and F and write crafting your pitch deck. And then it should take you directly here. And you can either click on it there. Yeah, great. You can just click on it right there. Cool. And what I want you to do is open up this pitch deck template. And once you've opened this up, the first thing that I want you to do is click on, we can see a bunch of people are in here already, which is awesome. You want to click on file and you want to click on make a copy. It's very, very, very important that you make a copy just so other people inside the workshop don't lose the annotations that I have provided. And once you've done that, I want you to review all the notes I've created for you on every single slide because I'm breaking down the reason behind every single element. And then when you are ready to start editing, I want you to delete my annotations. I've grouped everything together. So if we have a look at page 5, for example, if you were to just click on the screen and just hit delete, everything's just going to get removed straight away. This is why it's important that you make a copy of this and you can utilize it in any way that you want. Now, something that I would love for all of you to do is after you've crafted your pitch deck, email it to info@zachderis.com. That's info@zachderis.com with the title, the subject title, LSOS deck, so I can provide you with some feedback. Yeah, we have over 100 people in the workshop. Totally fine. I'll take the time over the Christmas to be able to do this because it's very important for me to see if I can give you just some additional support. Now, we do have Q&A sessions as well. So feel free during any of the Q&A sessions to send me the deck beforehand and get the feedback live from me during the session. The elements that you're going to need access to be able to craft your pitch deck are going to be your customer pain point analysis and the refining your service offering section as well. Now, some important notes that I want you to consider, as you can see on the screen, is try to be as creative as possible when developing your decks. You don't need to use a template, but I do highly recommend it because it sells. Do your best to limit yourself to a maximum of 10 slides. The fewer the slides, the better. Always include your pricing on your deck. The more transparent you are, the easier the close and the more you'll sell. And I just had to put this one in there. Sorry, guys. Some of the best salespeople on LinkedIn have this template. So where do you think they got them from? One thing that I take a lot of pride in is the people that sell the most on the platform, I personally had a hand in training them. So it says something about me, hey? I'm proud of myself as a salesperson because of the LinkedIn sales operating system. So it's like very not overwhelming, but like it's very it's a good moment for me that I finally get to share this stuff with everyone. Now, moving on, we're going to focus on part 3, data development. If you want to take a break at this point, have like a 5-10 minute break, pause the recording, feel free to go ahead and do so because we're about to dive into a lot of stuff. We're going to be focusing on developing evergreen data, building a consistent pipeline, and your messaging and scripts framework. For developing evergreen data, we're going to use the Sales Navigator framework, the Crunchbase framework, the Crunchbase user manual, the Apollo user manual, and the database template. For building out your consistent pipeline, we're going to have an overview of the evergreen data that we've just created, and I'm going to show you how to implement it and benefit from it. There's a really cool challenge that I've created for everyone. And then we're going to focus on the messaging and scripts, which is going to consist of going through the connection request templates, the email, audio, and video scripts, and the more info templates. Now, once we get to the messaging and scripts, there's one document that you do not have access to, and I refuse to give you access to until part 2 of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, which is the booking meetings and engagement guide. Before I get you to go out into the wild west of LinkedIn and start prospecting, I need you to build out all of this stuff first. It's crucial that you do the theory first before you do the practical. So let's go straight in and start developing some evergreen data. Now, an important note. To establish an evergreen database, you need access to 2 essential tools. One of them is Sales Navigator, the other one is Crunchbase. By learning and utilizing these tools, you won't have to worry about identifying qualified leads throughout your entrepreneurial journey. With some assistance from Apollo, these platforms will provide you with everything necessary to consistently prospect leads that are interested in purchasing your products and your services. All of these tools offer a free trial, and inside the LinkedIn Sales Operating System under Developing Evergreen Data, under the Data section, I've given you links so you can go straight ahead and get access to the free trials for Sales Navigator, Crunchbase, and Apollo. Now, it's really important that you have a look at all the manuals and all the frameworks that I gave you beforehand, especially the Sales Navigator free trial, which I'll touch on in a lot more detail. However, make sure that once you have done all of the review, you only activate the trials at a time where you can really dedicate to building out data. What I mean by this is Crunchbase, for example, provides a 7-day free trial. And in my opinion, it's advisable to initiate this trial when you can dedicate a minimum of 5 full days to generating substantial data that you will benefit from over the next 6 months. Now, let's put this into perspective, okay? On the first 2 weeks of every single quarter for my own business, my consulting business, and my sales workshop business, I prospect for only 2 weeks at the beginning of every single quarter, which means for 2 weeks out of 12 to 16, I'm prospecting. The rest I'm executing and closing deals because of the pipeline. Personally, I use Crunchbase and Apollo for client work, with Sales Navigator being my primary tool. I pay 99 euros a month for Sales Navigator, but it pays for itself within the first hour of the first day every single month because I use it properly. By you utilizing the frameworks I'm going to show you, you're going to learn how to utilize it properly. Please do take your time to go through each of the frameworks you're about to see and the user manuals in a lot of detail, because these free platforms is everything that you've been waiting for over the past 2 hours. I promise you. It's going to show you how to simplify your identification of your prospects going forward. So I'm going to show you first how to use the Sales Navigator framework. Then I'm going to do a couple of exercises. But basically, the way I've detailed this whole entire framework is an easy to understand process. So very straightforward. It's very simple. You must activate your free trial first, or go ahead and buy Sales Navigator if you're absolutely comfortable. But I do recommend reviewing both of these videos, which is going to save about an hour and a half of me going over it in the recording right now. It's very comprehensive, and I give these two videos to all of my clients. A lot of you who are in the room right now actually came from this using Sales Navigator for your 2024 sales strategy masterclass that I hosted a month ago. So let's put it into perspective. It works because you're here. Now, a brief disclaimer. As a Sales Navigator instructor for 9.5 years, I possess a comprehensive understanding of the Sales Navigator platform, surpassing that of most individuals. I once calculated that I could easily spend over 60 hours a month on sales, the Navigator. Therefore, everything that I'm conveying to you inside this framework is condensed of years amount of the knowledge that I've learned into one entire document. As I mentioned in the videos, the best way for you to really benefit from the Sales Navigator framework is by going to watch both of them. So if you would like to pause this right now and go ahead and watch each of the videos, then come back to this, feel free to go ahead and do so. Just make a note of where you are in the video, because these videos are going to equip you with everything you need to comprehend the platform's powerful capabilities for prospecting on LinkedIn. And Sales Navigator going forward will serve as your primary lead outreach source for identifying leads, sales, partnerships, and investors. However, how can you fully unlock its potential? Throughout this step-by-step process, I'm going to detail how you can utilize Sales Navigator to develop your evergreen sales pipeline. That's why you're here. Regardless of whether you have little or no experience of Sales Nav, this guide and both of the videos that you're going to watch is going to help you fast-track your success with Sales Navigator. So I'm going to skip over this because I think it's important that you watch the videos first and then you go through each of this information in a lot of detail. So I'm just going to show you what's included in this guide. I detail all the search filters, all the lead filters, and I break them down. The recommended filters that I want you to use, how you utilize keywords in the search bar. There's a 5-minute exercise, which I'll come back to in a moment. Saving searches, accessing your saved searches, creating leads list, accessing your leads list, and creating evergreen data. There's a wealth of information here, and there's screenshots in here as well to make it really easy for you to be able to utilize and understand. So maybe give yourself like a good hour to read through this after you've watched the tutorial videos. And then I'm going to show you some stuff right now just to really summarize. And then we're going to jump over to this 10-minute exercise that I want everyone to create. So first thing that we want to do is we want to head over to linkedin.com. Once you have purchased or opted in for a free trial for Sales Nav, you will now have a compass on the top right-hand corner of your profile. Now, a very important disclaimer that I need to make to you is that your inboxes on Sales Navigator is completely separate to your inbox on LinkedIn over here. If you're going to send a connection request or a message out of Sales Navigator, it isn't going to appear in your message inbox over here. If someone replies to that connection request or that message on Sales Navigator, that isn't going to appear over here. Now, unfortunately, the platform does have some bugs. And what I mean by that is, For example, let me show you one of my pending invitations that someone has sent me. There's a reason why I have over 1,000 unanswered pending um, invitations because I like to manually speak to absolutely everyone who sends me a connection request, and I've been really busy right now. So these are just going to keep piling up, and then hopefully at Christmas, I'm going to accept all these people. But let's have a look at this person. Hi, Zach. I'm Sushant. I work in experience marketing using XR, and I would love the opportunity to connect with you on LinkedIn. Why did he catch my attention? Because he used a personalized connection request, which we're going to detail later on in part one of the LinkedIn sales operating system. But why I'm actually highlighting it right now is because if I was to hit accept and he sent this to me via Sales Navigator, his connection request message and my response, should I respond, will fall under his Sales Navigator inbox. If I was to, and this is so annoying, but if I was to hit reply, you can see the connection request message over here, it hasn't appeared. But I'm going to write hi. And then I'm just going to move the zoom bar out the way. I'm going to hit send. Now we can see his messages come through. So the connection request that may have initially been sent out by Sales Navigator has now been pushed into my main inbox and his main inbox, right? So he may go to Sales the Navigator, open up the message to Zach, see that it's got a blank response, but he may now go to the messaging section over here and see that I responded over here. So what I recommend to all of my clients is that don't connect out of Sales Navigator. Use it as a lead generation tool. Use it as a CRM, and I'm going to be able to show you how. Use it as a platform that's going to build you evergreen databases and constantly pump new fresh leads into your databases. But open up their profile on LinkedIn, which I'm going to show you how to do, and connect out of LinkedIn, just so everything's coming under one inbox. Now, if you specifically want to manage individual campaigns, then yes, do your connecting via Sales Navigator. But hopefully what I just said to you right now isn't too confusing. And in the Q&A session, if you want me to go over this again, we can, no problem whatsoever. I can actually give you a live demonstration where I will send any of you that are concerned about this a message from my LinkedIn and from my Sales Navigator account, just so you can see two message boxes appear. But let's dive in, right? So I've gone to linkedin.com. I've clicked on this wonderful new compass, which essentially is going to guide you to your sales success. Very clever logo implementation there, not going to lie. The first thing that I'm going to see is a completely different format. I don't care about all of this feed that I see over here, right? I don't care about my book of business or my persona, or my priority accounts, because as consultants and agencies, we don't really need to target accounts. We need to target leads. So what we're going to focus on is I'm going to show you how to navigate through LinkedIn Sales Navigator in my way, in terms of how I identify, find my prospects, and honestly, how I got a bunch of you in this room today. So account filters, just to touch on, and I do inside the workshop videos and in the framework. This is if you're going after like really large companies and it works really well. But if you're targeting specific types of companies like Web3 businesses or companies that you can sell your recruitment services to or your coaching services to, it's better to go for individuals over accounts. So honestly, if we have a look at my accounts list, boom, proof. I literally have one, but that can't be right. Yeah, no, cool. I do have a few. I never go here. I've got 1,774 accounts because I ran some kind of test once. But like these are my accounts list. I don't really use them. What I do use are leads. You can see here, this is my CRM. I've got leads that I build on a regular basis. I've got some potential client leads. I built that yesterday, today. I've got some recommended leads via the system, which I totally ignore. I've got recently accepted connections and emails. I also ignore them. I've got leads for clients. I've got all the people that purchased the workshop into a leads list. I've got my AI tools because I prospect businesses that sell AI tools. So much. There is so much in here that I have, and I utilize every single one of these leads lists for specific campaigns that I run. Now, how do you gain access to it? This right here, this search bar, and this lead filter, right? This is all you're going to use. So I'm going to close this down. You're going to go to LinkedIn.com. You're going to click on the Sales Navigator Compass, and you're going to get started by tapping into lead filters. That's the first thing that you're going to do. Now, you're going to notice there are a bunch of filters on the left-hand side. You can collapse this, you can expand this, right? You can also pin some filters that you want. So I've got a bunch of the filters that I use on a regular basis, which I've detailed in the framework as the recommended filters that I want you to utilize. And you have this beautiful search bar. It's beautiful because it works really, really, really well with a Boolean search. What I mean by a Boolean search is that if I was going to have a look at Web3, general, no Boolean, just Web3, globally across LinkedIn, it's going to give me 150,000 results. But a Boolean search is when you include inverted commas, plus sign, minus sign, and or in between each of them, basically looking like this. And from 150,000 results in Web3, I've now got 190,000 results once I remove the additional filters that I've put in here, which I'm going to guide you through in a moment. Because it expands the search, it allows me to have a look at the different variations of how people may write that keyword inside their profile. So some people may just write Web3. Some people may write web space free. Some people may write web 3.0, web space 3.0. There's many different ways of how they would write this. So when I throw this in the search from 150 results initially, pardon the little glitch there. I now have 190 results, which is great. So I have a very comprehensive overview of how many people in the Web3 industry advertise themselves or have a profile on LinkedIn. Now, I'm going to show you how to build an evergreen database. This is the most important thing that we're going to focus on right now. So what we're going to do is we are going to have a look at only the 38,000 people out of the 190,000 people. All right. The 38,000 people that are posting content on LinkedIn within this keyword search every 30 days. Just think to yourself why that's important. 190,000 people, 38,000 people who are posting. Why do I prefer to go after these people first? They're active on LinkedIn. They're posting content. They're responding to messages. They're accepting connection requests. They're replying to messages. They're replying to your comments on their posts. They're agreeing to jump on a call. They're agreeing to be sold to. They are active on LinkedIn. Now, if you have a very niche client base and your results may show that there's only 22 people active, that's 22 super hot leads, in my opinion. And I'm going to show you how the platform itself is going to turn that into evergreen data shortly. But first, we need to be able to learn how to build out the pipeline and then save it. So specifically, what I want to have a look at in this particular search is I want to start with the headcount. So if we have a look at company headcount, I like to go for self-employed people and people with 1 to 10 employees, apart from the agency side of things. I can, if I'm going to sell to agencies, anywhere up to like 200, 500 employees, I can sell to, no problem. Corporates, I just don't really like doing it. Once I've done that, I want to have a look at connections. I want to remove people who are already connected to me because if I do my job properly, which I do, I would have already pitched them and closed them. So I'm going to have a look at the second and the third degree connections. So from 38,000, drop me down to 14,000. We're on a really good start. Now, what I want to have a look at now are my ICP, my ideal customer profile job titles. So I'm going for founder. I'm going for coach. I'm going for strategic advisor. I'm going for consultant. I'm going for owner, going for managing director, going for CEO. These are my decision makers. 14,000 all the way down to 8,500. Still too many. Still way, 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 way too many. I'm just not feeling it. It's just why, I want to get this down to about 1,000. That would be ideal for me. So what I want to have a look at is the function of their role. So I want to specifically have a look at the business development individuals and the individuals that are focusing on consulting. But because of the fact that I know I can sell to consultants like super, super, super fast, why don't I just jump down from 8,500 people all the way down to 526? That's much better. But remember when we were building out our customer breakdown and we were talking about the location and why the location is important? I know I sell best to people in North America and Europe. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in there. I'm going to throw in North America and I'm going to throw in Europe. Really good thing about Sales and Navigator is you can search via continent, and on the free version of LinkedIn, you can't. So from 500, it's thrown me down to 366. That's pretty decent. I like that. That's good. But what I want to have a look at next is the industry. See if there's anything that like specifically catches my attention. Even though under the function I put coaching in there, I know if I write consulting, it can bring it down even further. These are the numbers I want to see. So I'm just going to type in consulting a few times, select all of the options. And I believe they've recently added coaching in here. Yeah, professional training and coaching. That could be PT, like gym and exercise and stuff, but it could also be professional coaching. So we were at 190,000 results. Then we went all the way down to 38,000, then 14,000, then 8,000, now 122. It's my ICP people. These are the people who they have a good understanding of Web3. I can leverage my growth in the Web3 space to be able to tap into them and my connections. They instantly going to be attracted to me because of the content that I put out there. I know that they are the right types of people. They have the right type of a function. They're posting on LinkedIn. They're ticking absolutely everything that I want in terms of industry and geography. And I can start prospecting these individuals, which we are going to do as well. But first and foremost, I want to be able to save this search. Okay. So depending on the version, another bug, depending on the version of Sales Navigator that you get, either over here at the very bottom, there's going to be a blue button that says save, or the new version, which I absolutely hate, you just click here to save a search to get a notification. It's annoying because previously when you hit search, save down there, a pop-up appeared and you can actually type in the name of that particular search. Now I have to go into save search, and this is how you access it. You click on save search, and rather than bringing up a fresh page, it's now a pop-up, which again is really annoying for me. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. Absolutely fine. We're going to go ahead and click that pen and we're going to edit this. So I know this is active coaches, active Web3 coaches and consultants. They're active because they're posting. Consultants, active coaches, consultants in Europe and North America. That's just something for me to know. Now I'm going to save this. So now imagine I'm done for the day, right? I've done my safe search. It's not a prospecting day, but then tomorrow I want to go in and I want to start prospecting. I'm going to go to the compass, going to go to LinkedIn, click on the compass, and the way that I access that safe search is just by clicking on safe search. That's literally it, okay? And then I can open up the search at any point whatsoever. Now, I wouldn't recommend prospecting from this list, because out of the 122 people, maybe 80 of them may not be suitable once you actually read their details, their profile in a lot of detail. Because sometimes if you have, for example, the chief revenue officer at a business such as Decathlon, they're a huge business, but he also has another company which he owns himself. This is why he's appeared on this search. So you just need to make sure that you qualify them. So I'm going to go down to experience, and I can see that Xavier has obviously Decathlon. He has an advisor and investor at Kamea Labs. He's a chief revenue officer at Decathlon, which is what we initially saw. So it shows the largest company at the top. He's a consultant and chief revenue officer for SIA Partners. He's a consultant and chief revenue officer for Viola. Now, because of the fact that this guy is a consultant and chief revenue officer for a lot of, let's say, Fortune 500 type of businesses or people that are on the stock exchange or maybe have over 10,000 employees, you may think that he may not be your ideal customer. This is why it's really important to have a look and view their profile, because he says that he's a Web3 advisor. He may be advising Viola or Decathlon on their Web3 initiatives, where for me, because of certain clients that I have, that will be a fantastic lead for me to pitch immersive builds or Web3 growth and marketing or NFT projects and stuff like that. And if I was to run some automation with some random message to all of them 122 people, I would get a few bites, 100%. But it's not going to be as quality as what you're going to see shortly, the engagement process. We're going to really hone in on this on part 2. But for now, I'm just going to show you how I'm like reviewing and analyzing the profile. I want to have a look at his content. This is the most important thing. It's in French, but thankfully, LinkedIn gives you a very accurate translation. So I can see that he's reposting content, and then he posted a particular piece of content wherever. Have a look. We are looking for a work study social media manager to complete the Karma Labs team Web3 project. Gonna have a look at this. I can see that they're recruiting, they're hiring, they need a freelancer, a digital marketing or school student. So they don't want to spend a lot of money. They may need an intern. There's a bunch of people in my community that I can push them towards this role, because by the looks of their requirements, by asking for a student and stuff, they may not have any money. And that's okay. But there are people who would intern that I know that I can push them towards. So not only can you create opportunities for yourself, you can create opportunities for other people, which one day will come back and will support you. So never lose that kind of a mission out of your head. So if I've decided that Xavier is a good prospect, and I've also decided that Samuel's a good prospect, and Giovanni, where's the women? And Melanie, and Augustine, and Lauren, and Eddie, and all of these people. But I didn't think that Simon or Robert or Adrian was a good prospect. What I will do is I would just click this select all button, and I'll go down and I will remove the people who I do not think is a good prospect. I'll just untick them. Or you could do it the other way around, right? And you can just manually tick the ones that you want. And then I can create a new saved list. So I'll save to list, I'll create a new list. And for this purpose, I'm just going to write the same save search title that I put so I can connect the two. But I may write list over here in brackets just so I don't get confused, which you're not going to. They live in 2 different places, but why not? And again, I'm just going to review every single profile, open it up on the LinkedIn platform. And just as a reminder, the way that I did that was I opened up their page. I clicked on the 3 dots. I viewed LinkedIn profile. I'm going to review all of this stuff. And if I'm totally confident that I can sell to this individual, I'll go back to the search. I'll make sure they're ticked and I'll save them to the search. Save them to the list. Pardon me, the leads list. So that's cool. And now this is where the prospecting begins, right? I'm going to go into leads list. I'm going to open up these 22 people that I've just saved, right? And then because I've already reviewed their profile and I understand that I can sell to these individuals, I'm going to open up each of their profiles on LinkedIn, I'm going to engage in their content, I'm going to add value, then I'm going to send them a connection request. Okay. That's the way that we're going to do it. And I'm going to focus on this in part 2 of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, which is coming to you next week. So now that you've watched the 2 tutorial videos, you've read through the framework, you've seen this example that I provided you on Sales Navigator, I want you to open up the section of the Sales Navigator framework, and I want you to specifically take a look at 10-minute exercise. Okay. Using the knowledge that you gained, I now want each of you to go ahead and begin the process of creating a bespoke search based on your key target audience. This is going to be classified as your master search. So I want you to save the search and the list as your master search. This is going to be utilized to build several bespoke searches and lists to further identify your key target audience. And I've detailed step by step how I want each of you to do this. And I've given you examples of what you can enter. Okay. So just go through all of this stuff. Make sure you've selected every single filter, which again, the filters are all over here. Okay. And then once you've done that, go ahead and either click that blue save button or click that button over here, save the search, go into the save search, edit it, and rename it as master search. Okay, cool, fantastic. And once that's been done, we're going to focus on evergreen data. So just before we crack on with the Crunchbase and Apollo side of the database development, we need to understand how LinkedIn Sales Navigator generates us evergreen data. It's very straightforward, actually. The safe searches that you have just created yourself gives you the opportunity to constantly add leads to your pipeline. And the way that we identified them is that once you go to LinkedIn and then you click on Sales Navigator and you open up your saved search that you've just created, you'll be able to identify a week from now or 2 weeks from now or even a month from now that LinkedIn is providing you with new results. So this particular search I created on the 8th of December, where as of today is about like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. And initially, when we have a look, this search provided me with 4,500 results, probably 4,410 results-ish. But now, because of the fact that more people who fit the requirements that I have asked for from LinkedIn in terms of their job title, if they're active on LinkedIn, their geography, it's now showing me new results. And it will consistently do that. Why? Because every 24 hours, anywhere from 250,000 to 500,000 people register for LinkedIn. This year, LinkedIn has hit 1 billion users on the platform. On average, every single week, 22 to 25, it does vary, 22 million to 25 million people post content on the LinkedIn platform, which shows you that it's an open sea of opportunity and you really should leverage and take advantage of the premium functionality. As and when it comes to a point where you can invest in Sales Navigator, it will be one of the best and easiest to accept business expenses that you ever have, because as I mentioned earlier on, it will pay for itself. So essentially, every single week, I can trust that LinkedIn is gonna, on each of my safe searches, it's gonna give me more results. This is one that I did for a client a week ago before the workshop. We initially had, I think it was 600 results, maybe. No, yeah, 2,500 results. And imagine if we've added them all to a lead list, we decided that maybe like 2,000 of them qualified. We now have 14 brand new results that have automatically been populated in that list. Why? Because every single day, people change jobs, they change industries, they get promotions, they change careers. So if they meet the criteria of your safe search, they're going to fall under that requirement. There we go. Sales Navigator is a beautiful tool. I want everyone to be able to utilize it and take advantage of it. Do take advantage of the free trial if you are able to get that done. Now, for any reason, if anyone has recently had a premium or you've taken out a premium free trial, and then when you go to set up the free trial for LinkedIn, it tells you that you're not eligible for it. send me a message and I can show you how to craft a support ticket to LinkedIn in a way that will almost guarantee you, not completely, but almost guarantee you that they will give you a free trial in a way where they will ask you to pay for it, but then they'll give you an instant refund for the first month just so you can test it out. It's in their benefit that they let people test out the platform because they know that once they actually utilize the platform, it works that well. So yeah, evergreen data it's a real thing. I myself, when I have a look at my saved searches, I know for a fact there's 92 new people over here I can contact. 23 people out of my first connections have recently posted content, so I can go ahead and engage with them. My ICP of self-employed consultants, advisors, and trainers, there are 19 new results from this versus last week when I last took a look at it and I was prospecting through that. So every single week, I'm going to get new results, and you can too if you utilize it properly. So again, watch the video tutorials, replay this exercise that I just showed you, complete the tasks that I gave you, read through the framework, and start building out your very own master searches and pipelines on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So now that you have understood how to utilize Sales Navigator and also create saved searches, and you've understood the importance of how you are going to generate evergreen data, I want to set you all a little bit of a challenge. Drawing from all of these insights in the Sales Navigator framework, I encourage you all to diversify your approach. Between now and session 3, I want you to consider creating 5 additional saved searches on Sales Navigator. By taking this step, you initiate the process of establishing a consistent and evergreen pipeline for your business. As you saw in the example, I have many different saved searches, and that is for a reason. This proactive strategy is going to ensure that your outreach efforts are not confined to a singular avenue, thereby maximizing your potential for a sustained and fruitful stream of prospects. For the next section of the workshop, we're going to focus on Crunchbase and Apollo, 2 of my most favorite data development tools. Now, what I want you all to do is go have a look at part 3 of the system and take a look at where it says Crunchbase user manual and Apollo user manual. We're not going to go through these in the session. These are essentially step-by-step user manuals and how-to guides. There are external documents inside the workshop that you can download and just have on file whenever you need to utilize them. But what we are going to focus on is the Crunchbase framework, and then I'm going to show you how to implement a combination of Crunchbase, Apollo, the database template that I've created for you, and also Sales Navigator to be able to fully create a successful leads list. Let's dive straight in. With this Crunchbase framework, something that's really important to understand as it relates to my own personal opinion is that Crunchbase is the ultimate platform for finding companies that recently gained funding, giving you a very crucial advantage in spotting promising revenue streams. When you use this platform, you can be confident that the projects and companies that you are looking at not only have financial support, but also actively need services to grow their business. Once someone gains money from a VC, they need to spend that money to continue growing their company. In addition to being great for a go-to financial insights platform, Crunchbase is a key place to discover Web3 companies, making it a valuable resource for staying on top of the ever-changing digital landscape. What really makes Crunchbase stand out the most is their Web3 tracker, which I'm just going to show you really quickly. It is in the system too, but the Web3 heads in the room are going to absolutely love this. You can open up the Web3 tracker and you can just see absolutely everything that's going on in the industry, current and up to date, as it relates to Web3. So we've got 12,512 results of companies. It shows you the amount of money that they've raised, the announcement date. You can tweak all of this stuff. You can have a look at the most recent one. So I can see as soon as December 9th, just a few days ago, Chain Risk has raised some capital, but it doesn't detail over here. Long Code, the next one down, has raised 10 million, probably a great company for everyone to prospect because you know they have a cash flow. And then as we continue, this is the only platform in the whole entire world, right, that offers this feature. And Crunchbase helps you keep track of all of the latest happenings in Web3 funding rounds. The Web3 Tracker acts as your guide, giving you detailed insights into fast-paced trends and opportunities within Web3. This unique feature ensures that you are not only informed about current funding activities, but also ready to anticipate and take advantage of in future shifts of the Web3 industry. Essentially, you've got more clients that have money that will pay. By utilizing Crunchbase in connection with Sales Navigator, Apollo, and the Crunchbase framework that we're going to go through now, you gain access to the ultimate tools for cultivating evergreen data that can scale your business venture and your revenue. For a comprehensive look at how Crunchbase works, please use the user manual attached. Now, there are 3 ways that you can utilize Crunchbase. So I'm just going to pop open the system so we can go through this together. There's Crunchbase lists, and we use Google to be able to find bespoke lists on the platform. Investor portfolios, we're going to review the portfolio companies of other VC companies. And then company list association. So for example, if you were to type in Zach Davis Training Services on Crunchbase, which I'm not on there, self-funded and all that, there will be a section, if I was there, that says associated list. This will show me all the other lists that my company would fall under, which would also show me similar lists of companies that I can also prospect that fall under my ICP. So for Crunchbase list, I need you all to go through this in a lot of detail because it's not very straightforward. But if you implement these steps one by one, you'll be able to pop up lists that you can actually utilize on Crunchbase. And as I've said previously, only activate your Crunchbase free trial at a moment where you've gone through this framework, you've gone through this recording, and you have the time to build out some data for yourself for the next 6 months because you're going to be able to pull off a lot of data. So I've given you a couple of examples of list of crypto companies, European media companies, SaaS startup companies, just so this whole entire section isn't focused on Web3. I want you to review the lists, click on the one that you deem appropriate. Once you've gone to Crunchbase, scroll down to the leaderboard, click view all, scroll down to the bottom of the page, click see more, perform steps 6 and 7 again, until you hit the end, highlight all the data. I'm going to show you how to do this in a second. Copy the data, open up the database template, make a copy of the spreadsheet, create a new tab, title the tab with the name of the Crunchbase list, paste in the data, manually go through each lead using Crunchbase, Apollo, and Sales Navigator to find your contact information. That's one way of doing it. And then I've given you a whole bunch of lists that you can review. And then you can do exactly the same process with investor portfolios and also with company list association. But I'm going to show you today is going to be based on, let's pick a social media companies with seed funding, something that absolutely everyone can prospect, whether you're a coach, a consultant, a leadership development specialist, a recruitment agency, a content creator, whatever it is, these kind of companies you can sell into. And for the purpose of this, even though I have my data already for Q1 of 2024, I decided to just tap into a free trial just to be able to show you all this live. So I found a list that I want to prospect, but before I start reading through it, what I want to do is open up the database template that I've created for you. And I've already populated it with a whole bunch of data just in case anyone wanted to utilize it. But I'm going to copy the name of the list, going to go to the database template, add a new. Obviously, you're going to copy this first. You're going to click file, and you're going to click on make a copy. But then I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm going to rename that tab. I'm going to just drag this here at the front. And then something just to make my life easier is eventually I'm just going to populate all these additional tabs over there. And then I'm going to go down past the leaderboard as I detailed in the instructions to recent activities. I'm going to click view all. And let's say I want maybe like, there's 3,800 leads over here. Maybe I only want a few hundred. Maybe that's more than enough for me. These are social media companies with seed funding that I know that I can pitch. So I'm just going to scroll all the way down. You can use the end button and on your keyboard or page down, click show more. then I'm going to do this a couple times because I want to populate as much data as I can before I start scraping it. Because keep in mind, your free trial is going to end soon. So you want to try and grab as much data as you can. So I have a lot of clients that as soon as I teach them this, either themselves or their team, they spend the next 3 or 4 days just pulling off data very, very, very quickly. And then every single day, they'll choose 10 leads and perform the steps that I'm about to show you to be able to add it to their sales navigator pipelines and so forth. So I think that's enough data for now. This takes me back to February 2020. I don't want to go that far. I want to focus specifically on the past couple years. So let me just drag this up to the top. And let's just go from the beginning of the year. That'll be best because they still would have their budget. So I'm just going to go to January the 1st. I'm going to click right here on the lead underneath, because if I'm going to click over here on the 20, it isn't going to highlight it on the 20K. So by December 31st, 2022, I'm going to click there. I'm going to hold down my mouse. I'm going to start dragging up with my mouse all the way to the top. I want to get to the very top of this. It'll take me about a second to get there. And now I just want to extract this data by highlighting this information right over there. That's all I want to do. I just want to highlight that information. Now I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go over to database templates. I'm going to open up the new tab that I've created on the second row down. I'm going to hit paste. It will populate that information for me. And then I'm going to go to one of the other tabs. And then I'm just going to copy this information. For this particular spreadsheet, I was using the CRM by the name of Monday.com, but you can use spreadsheets, you can use Sales Navigator, you can use Pipedrive, you can use whatever CRM that you want. I don't have a personal CRM that I recommend. Pipedrive will probably be my most favorite out of a bad bunch, but I'm a spreadsheet guy. It works really well for me because my main CRM is Sales Navigator. So I'm going to copy that list of titles at the very top. I'm just going to paste this over here. Just going to make sure when I click on data, click on view, I want to make sure that this is just frozen. So when I'm scrolling down, that stays the same. And I've prompted you to detail a LinkedIn profile, their email address, another LinkedIn profile, their email address. And then if you want to add it to a CRM, then if you've added it to Sales Navigator, have you sent a connection request? Have they accepted? Have you sent them your Calendly link? Have they booked a meeting? Have you updated it on the CRM and so forth? So we can remove this duplicate over there because we don't need it. And then one thing that you can do just to help yourself stay a little bit organized is you can just select this yes or no option. And then go to column J, go across, go down. Let's just go there and then just paste it there. So whenever you've actually completed that information, you can go ahead and select if you've done these steps just to keep yourself accountable. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use Crunchbase and Apollo and Sales Navigator to populate this information. Because once we have this data, we know these are individuals that we are going to be able to prospect. So first thing is December 7th, DOR have landed a seed round, but for an undisclosed amount. Let me just quickly tidy this up. Cool. And let me just wrap that text. Sorry about that. Cool. So because it's an undisclosed amount, I'm not really interested in that. So what I want to have a look at is maybe the 1.8 million or the 700K that was raised. And because of the fact that you've got this information inside your spreadsheet right now, it is hyperlinked and you can just click on this and go straight to that lead. So you don't need to go back and identify and find who they are or where they were. One of the main things I want to pay attention to is obviously if there is a contact email over here, I can just copy that straight away and I can just pop that into the database that we've just created, which for the purpose of this, I'm just going to highlight it over here and I can just paste it over here. But that's not the main thing that I want. I want to look for this beautiful blue logo of LinkedIn right here. So you go to the profile, you scroll down, and right underneath the details at the very bottom, if their LinkedIn profile is attached, which 9 times out of 10 it is, you just click on it and then it's going to take you to the LinkedIn company page. Now, what's going to happen is I am obviously going to copy their website. I'm going to paste their website in here, which the tabs have not been populated in the right way. So let me just quickly move these over here. So first thing that I want to do is copy the website. So I'm just going to go to Crunchbase and in the About section, copy the link, go to the database in the website section, paste it in over there. And because I've opened up the LinkedIn company page, I can go straight away and have a look at people. But I've also got two other avenues where I can look at this. I can look directly in Crunchbase if there are any leads, and I can also have a look inside Apollo. So let's see what Crunchbase has to offer. I'm going to click on people. It's got 5 employee profiles, which is great. Doesn't have contact information. And if it had contact information, I could have got the name and the email for Denny, for Alina, for Jonas, and for the other people. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take the link for the website that I just found, go to Apollo, click on companies, paste the link for the website over here, hit enter. And if there is data, which 9 times out of 10, maybe 8 times out of 10, Apollo does have this, I can now click on this. And Apollo will now give me something that Crunchbase didn't previously provide me with the leads' names and their email addresses, which is amazing. So CTO and co-founder, head of sales, head of development, COO and head of matchmaking and consulting. Very cool job titles over here. But we can see we were specifically looking for a guy by the name of Denny. He's the CFO. Maybe Jonas will probably be the best lead. But Frederick is definitely the one because he's the CEO and the co-founder. So let's just have another look at Apollo, see if Frederick's details is there. He's not over there, which is fine. So we have to work our way around. But one thing that we can do for sure is we can click on his profile. There may be a LinkedIn profile attached to Frederick. We just have to look through it, see if there's any information, view on LinkedIn, and then there we go. Fantastic. There he is. So first thing I want to do is I want to copy the URL for his profile because he's contacts number 1. And obviously you can use your brain and try to figure out what their emails are based on the emails that you provided for the other people. So let's have a look at the other co-founder over here. His email is jonas@because.eco. So what do you think Frederick's going to be? Cool. So Jonas is going to go on the email too. We're going to pull up his LinkedIn profile in a minute. And then here we're going to write Frederick at because.eco. And then while we're at it, let's go ahead and find Jonas. So you can see I'm currently using free platforms to be able to do this. It's not fast and it isn't easy, but once you got the data, it's just down to how well you pitch and how good your services are. So I'm going to copy his information over here, add this to the database, paste that over here, and let's just do one more person, just so we can do the whole entire process. Let's have a look at Asa. Let's have a look at his LinkedIn profile. Okay, head of sales
How long has it been there? For 3 months. He's probably trying to prove a point right now. So I'm probably not going to prospect him. I'm going to go higher. I'm going to go above his head. So let's go to COO and head of matchmaking. Just grab her details. Do. Sometimes Apollo won't give you all the information in the same page, which is weird, but it's fine. We can manage that. And then we are going to pop her email there. We've also got her LinkedIn profile as well. Do. Okay, so I can't find her there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use normal LinkedIn and I'm just going to have a look at people. Now I've got two options. I can either just have a look down really quickly, see if Maria pops up. Is she there? Is she there? There she is. Let me just make sure it is the same Maria Reinhard Wagner hyphen Reinhard, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, cool, perfect. So now that I've got her LinkedIn, I can also add that to my data. So I've got the names and email addresses of the people that I want. Now, the ultimate hardcore salespeople will notice that there are a number of mobile numbers attached to this as well. So if you want to pick up the phone and smile and dial, ladies and gentlemen, feel free, because honestly, cold calling has never been better since COVID. More people are answering their phones just because they want to talk to people. So you'd be surprised, even though I do a lot of my sales via LinkedIn, sometimes I need to pick up the phone and dial. But it doesn't stop there. Okay. So one thing that I do want to do with each of these profiles that I've identified is I want to view them in Sales Navigator. And then I want to click on save and I want to create a new list for myself. And I'm going to call this list the title of the search that we did for the database, social media companies with seed funding. So this is the list that we call the tab. And I'm just going to create this. And what I can do if I wanted to is I could also just go back to the main list that we had somewhere, which is over here. I can copy this list. I can just put the URL so I know exactly where I identified these people from, and I can hit save. So I've saved Maria. The next thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and do exactly the same thing for Jonas. If you click save over here, it's just going to go to your recent save searches and you're not really going to be able to identify it. So click on view in Sales Navigator, do exactly the same thing. And because of the fact that you've recently added the lead to the social media list is going to fall under recently used and it's going to pop up at the very top. And now we want to do the same thing for Frederick. So we're going to go ahead and view in Sales Navigator. And then we're going to hit save and social media companies. And then I'm just going to spend a couple of hours building out maybe 100 or 200 or 300 leads, depending on your speed. And then the day after, I can start going ahead and prospecting. Now, if you're like me, you like results very quickly. So what I would do typically is I will gather all the information from Crunchbase, pop it into Apollo, grab their email addresses and their mobile numbers, add it all to the database, add them to the Sales Navigator list. And before I move on to the next lead, which is going to be Munch in this case, I'm going to prospect them. And this is where session 2 of the of the LinkedIn sales operating system is really going to come into play, because I'm going to show you the booking meetings and engagement guide, which is going to absolutely rock your world, and it's going to increase your possibility of speaking with Maria, Jonas, and Frederick. Cool. Let's continue.
For the final section of part 3 of part 1 of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, we're going to focus on your messaging and scripts. Now, right now, if I didn't explain and you just had a look at the system that I provided, it may be a little bit confusing as to why is Zach asking you to build out all your messaging and all your scripts if you haven't learned how to actually send the connection requests and engage with these people first. Because again, you have to do the theory before you do the practical. So inside the framework that I provided you for your messaging and scripts, I've detailed several scripts that I utilize every single day whenever I'm prospecting people and building relationships with people. Now, an important disclaimer to share is the following. What you're normally used to is identifying someone, sending them a copy-pasted message, then going straight in for the kill. And that may have worked for you in the past, and it has worked for me as well. But as we move into 2024, it becomes imperative that you perform a different style of connecting and a different style of relationship building, because loads of people are now utilizing the horrid AI and automation tools to just spam out loads of messages, and no one knows what's real anymore. So what we do in this section is we're building out the templates that we need to be able to utilize in part 2 of the system, which is the engagement process. So going forward, how I want absolutely everyone to connect: identify a prospect, go to their profile, click on show all activity, engage with a lot of value in their comments, share their post if you want to, comment on the comments of other people that are commenting inside their post, go out on other social media platforms and find their company, engage in their content. And when you come back to LinkedIn, you're going to utilize one of the 12 or 15 messaging templates, connection request templates that you're going to create. But then once they have accepted, what's going to happen is you are just going to say, hi, name, thanks for connecting. So you're going to be like, hi, Zach, thanks for connecting. Then you're not going to spam them. You're not going to do anything of the sort. What you're going to do is either pick up your phone and record an audio note, or record a video of yourself introducing yourself. Because this is how you're going to stand out from the rest of the crowd. And these are where these scripts are going to come into place. So based on experience, typically after you send the first video, people respond, because we send a connection request, they accept, you send a little hi, thanks for connecting message, then you send a video, then you go ahead and you send them an email to let them know that you have sent them a video on LinkedIn and you thank them for connecting. And if you implement this on every single prospect, you will see that maybe 7 out of 10 people will actually respond and potentially get on the call with you. The conversion rate is just that high. So let's have a look at this whole entire section in a lot of detail. And for this, I'm just going to be reading off the screen so you can treat this section like a podcast. I've gone through the explanation. I've explained how it all makes sense. And then for those in the Web3 space, I've added a message script for community infiltration. This is for Discord and Telegram and stuff like this. And just read through it so it makes a lot of sense. But for everyone else, we're going to focus on the connection request templates. And as you can see, I keep on referring to a booking meetings and engagement guide, which isn't linked at the moment, and you're going to get it in either session 2 or session 3, depending on where we are. But more than likely, session 2, I'll give you all access to it, because I just don't want to overwhelm with anyone more than you already have been with all this information. So the connection request messages get broken down into several different categories. They are the hard sell, the warm sell, and the relationship builder. In each of these sections, I detail in what situations you can use the hard sell message, some examples of hard sell messages, and I also provide an overview of them. And then I give you a prompt based on the information that I've given you in terms of my examples for you to craft your own hard sell messages over here. And then exactly the same thing for the warm sell messages. I give you a whole bunch of examples, and then I tell you to craft each of your free warm sell connection request messages over here.
It's important that you have access to these so you're not really thinking on the spot when you're in this particular situation. You've got a notepad open or you've got a Trello board with all your messages in there that you can just go through, take them as and when you need them, and tweak accordingly and utilize them. And same thing for the relationship builder. One thing I would say though, the relationship builder provides me the highest conversion rate from connection request to acceptance. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that that generates me the most amount of meetings, because what happens is this is very short and sweet, and not a lot of people do reply after this unless they get the video and all of this stuff. But it's worthwhile split testing absolutely everything you do from a connecting perspective on LinkedIn to see what works best for you. Recently, one of the messages that worked the best for me are very bespoke ones where I'm talking about, hi, thanks for sharing your post about the problem with lead generation agencies, which shows that I am actually taking my time to have a look at his content. And then I'm asking him if I can show him and his internal team how to do a better job, detailing I'm not a recruiter, I'm your friendly neighborhood sales guy. It adds a little bit of humor, and honestly, it goes a long way of building that relationship with that individual. So now we get to the new bit, right? So it's really important that you read every single sentence and every single word that I've detailed here, just so it makes a lot of sense. What's going to happen is once you've sent the connection request, you're going to go to your email and you're going to send them the following email because you've grabbed their email from Apollo. So you already have this information. The email is going to have your name in the subject title from LinkedIn. You can add an emoji occasionally, depending on how I feel. If I'm feeling kind of, I don't know, emoji like, I may just throw a little wave in there. And then there's no introduction in this message. There's no, hey, Chris, hey, Tom, hey, Maggie. There's none of that. It's just dropped you a connection request on LinkedIn, but I didn't want to leave it to chance. So I wanted to email you also. Looking forward to connecting and chatting with you. And then I'm going to drop my link tree over there that when they open it, it's got all the information in terms of how they can connect with me, my speaking engagements, my other social media, and all of this stuff. That increases the chances of them accepting your connection request because not everyone is going to be as active as you are going to be on the LinkedIn platform, especially your prospects. So it's very important to tap into them onto the platform where they are the most active and engaged on. Now that we've sent an email, we obviously need to wait for them to accept your connection request. And if a couple of days go past and they haven't accepted anything, one thing that would be beneficial is if you continue engaging in their content. And this is why I like to go over to Twitter, to Instagram, to Facebook, to TikTok, to YouTube, to every single platform where I can find them and find their business and engage in their content as well. This way they're seeing the same profile picture, the same name on many different social media platforms, that as and when it comes to them pulling down the notifications on their phone, they'll see Zach Dennis engaged with you over here and over here and over here. It just adds that social proof that you're genuinely interested in speaking to them. Once they've accepted, as I mentioned, you send them this message. Hey, Zach, thanks for connecting. And then you record a video. I'm going to give you detailed instructions in part 2 on how you record your videos, what platforms to use, step by step, how to edit it and all of that stuff. But essentially, this shouldn't be longer than 30 seconds, okay? Because the shorter the amount of time, the more likely they're going to watch this video. Keep in mind, you're a stranger sending them a video, so you have to keep it short and sweet. And I break it down why each of the sentences that we use are very strategic. So we start off by saying, hey, Zach, thanks for connecting. You're being polite. You're saying hello. Thanks again for putting that post out about X, Y, and Z. Obviously, based on the connection request message that you utilize, that's what you're then going to go into say, and that continues to add more value. And then the third line can be a little bit direct, and you're talking about, I checked out what you guys do in a lot of detail, and I think it would be cool to jump on a call to see how we can add value to each other. It's not salesy, and you're dropping a little bit of hints. The fourth line, can I ping you over my calendar, or do you want to send me yours? Because you've already said that you want to have a conversation, so now you're giving them control. And by the way, and this is where you make him feel super special. You are going to do this to absolutely everyone, okay? But you're going to say, by the way, don't have to send me a video back. I'm just sick of typing all day and I wanted to switch it up. It makes them think that they're special. Putting it together, it reads like this. And as you notice, I'm not signing off with thank you, bye. This would generate a closed response, which means no response. We're leaving the conversation open, informal, and relaxed. Why this works is because they're not expecting anyone to send them a video message on LinkedIn. Humans are curious animals. They will think, if they are putting this much effort into getting my attention and building a relationship, what would it be like if they worked for me? It honestly works. So do give it a go. And then email script 2. Straight after you send the video, you want to send them an email to let them know, hey, thanks for connecting on LinkedIn. I just dropped you a video over there. And then attach a screenshot of the video in the chat so they can actually see this. Now, normally at that stage, you're going to get a response. But like a very small percentage of people are not going to reply to you. So I make sure that for a 5-day period, every single day, I communicate with them. I send them audio notes. I send them another video. And by audio note 2, if they don't respond, then you just have to move on to the next lead. It just shows that they don't have the courtesy to respond to you, which means they are not the right customer for you. Okay. Imagine if you qualified your data correctly, you have the right kind of service offering, the right kind of connection request message, you have all the information that you need, and you've sent all of this to 10 people. If 5 people respond and 4 of them get on a call, win-win. Because if you can get 4 people on the call and you've qualified them through your Calendly as well, you know you're going to make some new clients. So audio script 1 essentially goes in to say, LinkedIn has been glitchy lately, and I want to find out if the video message I sent you above came through, right? It's giving an opportunity to continue the conversation. Now, I give you the chance to craft your video message, your email message, your audio message, or you could just go ahead and utilize all of mine. So take the time to read all of this stuff and do hone in on the more info template, because occasionally people are going to ask you for more info on your business, and that's going to be the section where we go through that and you craft that message. Again, in part 2 of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, you're going to get the booking meetings and engagement guide, and you're going to see me live prospecting people on all of these avenues and elements. Okay, I'm going to be doing it all live inside the call so you can implement this stuff for yourself. Now we're on the final lap. For the final section of part 1 of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, our emphasis is going to be on developing content that proves instrumental in both the prospecting and the sales process. For this, we're going to have a look at content to post, content for prospecting, and content for closing the deal. You are in the initial stages of constructing a sales process that places a heightened focus on personalization and relationship building, which may entail more time compared to your previous prospecting efforts. However, with the implementation of these new strategies, you will experience a significantly accelerated conversion rate compared to your previous approach. Consequently, in the grand scheme of things, you will find yourself investing considerably less time for more impactful outcomes. In terms of content to post, your brand is the key factor in influencing people to make purchases from you. If you cannot establish a strong personal brand on LinkedIn, you are going to encounter challenges in the sales process. Fortunately, you're in really capable hands here. My content garners over 100,000 engagements and over 3 million impressions annually. Wondering how? I leverage all the LinkedIn formats and content styles on LinkedIn. So now we're going to open up the final section of the sales operating system, where essentially it's part 4. In part 4, I've included a content format and styles framework, which breaks down for you in a lot of detail the 8 content formats, which are short text, long text, polls, videos, articles, article shares, PDF documents, newsletters, and viral content examples. And then I go ahead and I talk about 6 styles of content, which are educational content, celebrating others, networking content, industry-based content, personal content, entertainment content, news-focused content, and we also touch on hashtags as well. So I want everyone to take maybe a 20-minute pause, if that. Pause this video, read through this whole entire guide, process it, understand it, and then come back. Because once we come back, we're going to focus on content for prospecting. Now, upon completing the messaging and scripts framework exercise, you now have a clear understanding that our prospecting messages will incorporate video and audio content. It's essential to underscore that this is a method in the exclusive pathway to securing meetings in 2024. With increasing prevalence of AI and automation, there is a pervasive sense of uncertainty. Many people believe that the significant portion, roughly around 95% of conversations that are happening on LinkedIn are actually generated and managed by AI. This is where you can distinguish yourself. Despite platforms like HeyGen, which are capable of creating realistic avatars, people are able to tell the difference when it's not actually you on video. So record a video, take the time to do it. By focusing on the nuanced details, you will guarantee that you will stand out and conduct effective prospecting on LinkedIn. Now, understandably, this may not be your comfort zone. I get that completely. The first time I ever recorded video content on the internet in 2014 took me 3 hours to record 1.5 minutes worth of content. This is something that you do have to practice. And what a better place for you to start than this workshop right now. So you've spent a lot of time doing the theory, reviewing all this information I provided to you over the past 3 or 4 hours, and all the information that you've reviewed in all the frameworks. But the key area I want you to focus on right now is the messaging and script. So if you haven't already crafted your initial video message based on the template that I gave you that I use myself, go ahead and do that, because I want you to do a video challenge, which I'm going to share on screen right now and break down how you do this. I like absolutely everyone to follow the next steps and do this in under 20 seconds. Grab your mobile phone, go to video, hit record, greet me, introduce yourself, tell me how you're finding session one, be honest, save the video, go to LinkedIn, either search for my name or click on that link that you see, click on message, and on the bottom left-hand corner, there's a photo image. I want you to click on that, and depending on the version of your phone, the version of the app on your phone, it will either just take you to your whole entire phone gallery and you can just select the most recent video, or it will prompt you to select the video. I want you to then upload the video and hit send. I'm not going to use that video. It's not going to be circulated anywhere or published anywhere. It's just a safe space for you to practice actually doing this. Once you've done this, come back to this document and let's proceed with the absolute final steps, which are going to be content for closing the deal. Now, this is the most crucial segment of the whole entire workshop. In my opinion, you need content on your LinkedIn profile that can be strategically utilized during the prospecting and sales process. Now, there are 3 main different types of sales content that you can utilize. A video breaking down elements of what you do, PDFs detailing your knowledge and your skill set, and live events where you are educating your audience. And as I detail inside the system, there's one example that I utilize quite a lot, which you've already reviewed in the Sales Navigator framework, which is this 45-minute tutorial of me explaining how to use the Navigator. As you can see, I recorded this in January the 20th, 2023. It's roughly around 45 minutes long. It's been viewed a number of times, and let's just have a really quick look at the analytics just out of curiosity. Cool. So in total, on the actual live event, there was only 31 people that attended, but in total, 438 minutes have been viewed, which shows me 88 people have actually seen this. And I can count on my hands and my feet and my brain who them 88 people are, because I probably sent it to them more than likely. So
what happens is during my pitch process, I always ask the question, which a number of you received this question from me. Are you using Sales Navigator? These are the typical responses. Yes, I've not had success. Yes, I'm not sure how to use it. No, I did previously. It didn't work for me. You get the drift of it. Then I continued with replies and asked them questions about their target audience. Once I've gathered all of that information, I implement the tactics that I've shown you in the Sales Navigator framework of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System. I build their ICP, I take a screenshot of it, and then I send it to them. And then they almost always respond with, why, what, how? Like, how did you manage to do that? Then I send them the video tutorial. Works like a charm, books me so many meetings because this is sales content. This is content that I recorded all the way back in January that still benefits me today. I check in an hour later and I see if they've seen it. 50% will because of the intrigue, and the other 50% I'll have to do a follow up or a chase. But realistically, sending them this video lands me meetings. Why? Because I'm showcasing my skills and how they can benefit by working with me. If you have a look in the guide at the very end on the sales content, you'll be able to see some other examples that I've detailed there that you can utilize yourself. So we're done. We have basically come to the finish line, but it's your turn to embark on the brainstorming process to identify different types of content that can reside on your LinkedIn profile, ready to be leveraged throughout your prospecting and sales process. Utilizing the refining your service offering section of the system, I want you to gauge your strongest skill sets and commence with those. Opt in for one and discuss at length. So if it's sales, if it's content creation, if it's using Canva, whatever it is, pick one and do a live event on it, record a video, create a PDF on it, even make a text post about it. But utilize that when you're asking questions to people in the prospecting process. Ask questions that can direct them to that post, just like I have done. Do you use Sales Navigator? Then eventually they get the video. Publish the post, and whenever you need it, use it in your conversations. And you know what? Congratulations. I really respect your patience. You've done an amazing job. You've made it to the very end of part one out of 3 parts of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System. No one is going to watch this whole entire recording in one go, and you shouldn't. Take your time, watch one section, complete the frameworks and exercises, come back, watch another section, complete the frameworks and exercises and all the tasks, slowly guide your way through it. This is the reason why I created this, because this is well over 5 years of knowledge and expertise that I've done to scale my business to over 7 figures in revenue. And now you have the opportunity to do the same. And you're not going to be able to do it by the end of 2023, but you're going to understand the baseline of absolutely everything you need to scale your business. So, little bit of homework for as and when you come to the final part of this. I want you to review all the sections and frameworks in this system, optimize your LinkedIn profile, and start breaking down your service offering. And you know what? I will see you in part 2 of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you and have a nice day. Bye.